Hello there! From behind the yellow line, this is Trammin episode 101. My name is Kirk, and as always, I'm joined by Mickey's friend and Pixar pal, Christian Rainwater.
What's up, everybody? Our Big Thunder topic of the week is trams, trains, and automobiles, the transportation of Disneyland.
And today, we're joined by our friend and studio tour guide, Matthew Serrano.
Hey!
To think that Trammin was a thing of the past.
I hope this tram is gonna last.
Roll the intro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. As a courtesy to other passengers, we ask that there be no eating, drinking, or smoking on board. In just a few moments, we will begin our trip into the Disneyland Resort news and topic of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, this tram is ready to depart. Driver, you are clear.
Welcome back to Trammin, everyone. We're your happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
We're your hosts, Kirk and Rain, and of course, Matthew. What's up, guys?
What's up?
This isn't my hour. This is Matthew's hour. So, what's up, Matthew?
Oh, please. What's up? I'm super excited to be on here.
Yeah, so we posted something. What did he reply
what
to?
was it that you guys posted?
Oh, it was the picture from Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where
that's right. Your guys' little setup.
Yeah, the one where my face is still like half paralyzed.
Oh, right. And then Matthew was like, okay, are you, I know you're Matthew Serrano, but do people call you Matt?
A lot of people call me Matt. I do love it whenever people call me Matthew. It's great.
Okay, so
all right, we'll stick with it.
Matthew.
We'll stick with it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he was like, oh, when can I be on the show again? And we're like,
You tell us
now.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm bored. Please let me be on the show now.
Yeah, so Matthew Serrano is a documentarian and filmmaker and director of Live from the Space Stage, a Halix story, a Defunctland documentary. Any other?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Best movie of the year, top-rated music documentary. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
it is a
arguable
long title.
Yeah, but he has been on the first episode of Trammin Plus.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And
50% of the episodes.
of
Because there's been
Trammin
two.
Yeah. And friend
What a
of
run.
the show. And yeah, just he's done great work. And we'll probably get into that a little more later. But first, let's gas up this tram with
Mousekeeping. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast, where Kirk and I talk about the Disneyland Resort through and only through our eyes. To catch up on jokes, references, context, and backstory, check out our lore page on trammin.com/lore. For our recommendations for Disneyland, DCA, and more, check out trammin.com/rex. For artwork, to make your own Trammin merch, visit trammin.com/art for your personal use only. If you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, comment, and review us wherever you can, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and my favorite, YouTubes. For a visual guide of the show and to message us, follow at Trammin Podcast on Instagram or email us at tramminpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find this and lore on trammin.com.
Wait, this is amazing. I didn't know that you guys had a lore page. And also, I'm one of nine characters.
I've
part of the lore.
So characters are either people who've been on the show or people we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So like
family, friends, girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your opinions come up because of your tweets, and you're very insightful. You're very insightful. So it's like, okay, well, we bring them up, and then people are gonna be like, "Who is this guy?"
I love that.
Yeah, and then there's some other
I'm
names.
flattered.
There's like, do we call them side characters or supporting?
They're not important. That's fine.
Yeah, and then new to you, Matthew, but new to everyone else too. We put up an art page because we don't have merch. We hope to do it one day, but we want to do a made in USA thing. You know, we don't want any.
Of course.
We want fair labor and stuff. So it's like someone wrote in, and we were gonna do this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I want to make something for myself, but I don't want you guys to C and D me." I'm like, "Oh, we're not gonna do that." And then I just put up that page of art.
Use whatever you like.
Yeah, if you sell it, it's gonna be worse than a C&D. But but if you don't, hey, go ahead, print your own stuff. And then the recommendations thing, I thought about this because people write in, they're like, oh, what do you recommend for this or that? But sometimes they're like already there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be late, so it's like,
so please
hey,
check out the Rex page.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, now it's time for You're Right, in which members of the Tram fam write in with corrections and comments. Rain, cue up that corrections music. Is this coming through Zoom for you, Matthew?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay. So Anna writes in, Washington appreciates the shout out. It is a pretty great place. Forest, mountains, water, plus it's pretty easy to hop on a flight down to Disneyland.
I love Washington, man.
And
I think I've talked about it before, but I think Brandy and I are going to retire there.
It's like...
It's future plans, future plans, but still.
Yeah. We ranked states for some reason last episode.
I've been asking everyone. You know what, Matthew? Top 5 states, go.
I think I've only been to 5 states.
That's fine. That's fine. I think you put Maine in your top 5, didn't you?
Hold on. California I put as number 1.
Yeah.
New York, I just went to the first time. I thought it was amazing. So New York is number 2. Then I'll put Nevada because Vegas.
Yep.
And then and also I like Nevada because it's like a cross between like all the best things of the East Coast and all the best things of the West Coast can all be found there.
Nice.
Like you can get a White Castle and an In-N-Out Burger in the same day, in the same hour. Number 4, I really don't want to put Florida, but it has Universal Orlando there, so Florida. And then number 5, I guess I'll put Texas.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can tell you the worst state. I know I've only been to like 7, but I can tell you the worst state.
What's the worst state? Oklahoma. Okay. All right.
This is a song about that, right?
And
There's a
I
musical.
can say that because my family's from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And, it's horrible.
Yeesh.
The most fun thing in that state is the saddest museum the only museum to make me cry.
What's the museum?
The museum is for the Oklahoma bombing. It's actually an amazing museum. It's one of the best museums I've ever been to. But the fact that that's the most fun thing that you can do in the state is like telling of the rest of the state.
Yeah. And so Jules wrote in, and she said, I have been loving the 100th episode of Trammin. I have You're Right. California is first and then Oregon before Washington on the top 5 states list. And then Ryan wrote in and said, you said Michigan, so I'd recommend Traverstown. I think you'd love it, Kirk. Vineyards, and you're right off the lake. Very woodsy. And then Sebastian wrote in, hey, what's up, my Trammin boys? I couldn't help but ask for you guys 2 cents on this topic. Matthew, perfect timing. Today I learned that the LA Kings are launching a game plan called the LA Kings Reserve, which, from what you might think it is, grants you access to all Kings home games.
Oh, frick.
For the 2021-2022 season, but you're granted only 2 reservations at a time. It has little perks and discounts that mirror a magic key. But I was wondering, with this new way of going to hockey games, if there were certain events, entertainment centers, or anything you kind of wish adopted a reservation system pass like a magic key.
No, nothing.
I hate it.
I wish that nothing. It's a scam. Like, it's such a scam. I'm not renewing my Magic Key.
Wow.
If they keep doing this, I'm not. I 100% will not be renewing. No, it's the worst. It's the worst service ever. Like, I actually hope that nothing ever adopts a Magic Key system ever.
So, did Universal start a reservation system with new passes? Did I read that somewhere?
So, what Universal did, at least in Hollywood, is when they reopen, obviously it's such a small park and it operates in LA County. So it operated under much stricter COVID rules than Disneyland did. So the restrictions of how many people could be in the park were tiny compared to Disneyland. And so Disneyland, obviously did a reservation. Everyone did reservation systems.
Right.
The only problem is that Disneyland, being the biggest in California, kept the reservation system, whereas everyone else has since stopped doing the reservation system.
So there are no reservations at Universal right now?
Nothing. No.
Right, okay.
Not at Knott's,
not
at Six Flags, not at Universal. The only other reservation thing that I can think of is at Six Flags Magic Mountain, you can reserve like VIP parking, but that's because it's VIP parking and because they have their own lot, and obviously spaces are going to run out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's starting the trend. That's for sure.
It's kind of like the subscription service thing. It's like, since, for some things it's great, like music. Because you listen to just song after song after song after song. But like, what happened to when you could just buy things? Like, can I just buy the thing and go? Like, tickets to a hockey game. Season tickets exist. You have to buy all the tickets, but they are yours and you could sell them. So it's like, that's a thing. But it's not a reservation system or whatever. This is like, it's $75 a month for the crap tier one. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's probably a set amount of reservations. Like, pay for a chance to reserve a seat at a hockey game.
Do they play at Staples? Or Crypto? Sorry.
Yeah, they do.
Crypto Arena.
And parking's $25. No, it's more now. It's $35, I think. So I don't know. I hate this. I don't like the Kings, but I hate this. So go Ducks. And then
go Ducks.
Rain said there was an animatronic Mickey hitting a drum. It's just a giant.
It's an animatronic Mickey hitting a drum.
It's a big parade float.
I'm looking this up right now.
That's doing this thing.
What is the Mickey drum?
Just like Mickey drum parade. So JD, Ozzy, and Tiffy Luna wrote in, hey, is this the thing Rain was talking about? And it is.
I said, that's it.
So that's all it was. So, yeah.
All that I see is the Mickey drum parade. All I see is just Sensational. Oh,
this
the float.
Thing? Yeah.
Where he's going like this.
Yeah. That thing.
Yeah.
It's
what about that?
He just was like,
I couldn't describe it. That's what it was.
Describe it, and people just kept writing in like, this is what he's talking about, because I had no idea. So.
Yeah, it's an animatronic float.
Bingo.
It moves. All right.
It's a float, but it's also an animatronic.
So let's get in some news. So, of course, the number one headline of this week.
And maybe of our Trammin career.
We Trammin.
Yeah, you guys are ending the podcast today, right?
This is it.
This is it.
This is the last episode, right?
Trammin 101. It's a class on how to bring back the trams. Start a podcast for 2 years. So yeah, the Mickey and Friends Tram has returned on the date of airing, February 23rd. And we're excited.
I will be there.
Oh, you will?
Accidentally. Yes, or on Sunday, I made a reservation and I saw they were all taken up, of course, right? Except for Wednesday. And I was like, I'm gonna go Wednesday. Why not? It's open. And then I was like, wait, something else is going on Wednesday. The trams are back.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. I saw people complaining about people celebrating this. And just like, who cares, man? Just whatever. Like,
just let us be.
Just let people be happy. It's like, now we're mad that people are happy. It's like, whatever. But this just means...
Yeah, I think that's stupid, getting mad at people that are happy. But that being said, I was going to clap whenever the news got announced. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to clap, because that's like a restaurant announcing, hey, we're serving the food on plates again. Like, you.
Yeah, so it's like...
This should have been here months ago.
Yeah, it's...
We're paying more money than ever, and it's not an added bonus. Like, this is a requirement. You guys should have had this.
I honestly...
I hated walking that.
I honestly think they didn't...
It's horrible.
Someone there didn't realize it, because this is it's like multiple things there of you don't use it and it dies. Phantasmic, World of Color, and these natural gas engines. You can't just have things underwater or sitting around for 2 years, just like your own car.
Yeah.
And someone, I don't know what it was, because if someone thought this was cost cutting, this obviously cost them way more.
Yeah.
Repairing costs way more than just like...
I wonder if they just got new ones.
No, because
you don't think so?
They would have gone electric or something.
Yeah, they would have.
Because electric... Yeah. They messed up those engines. They didn't realize, because we know someone who works around Disney, and he hears murmurings, and everything's a rumor. But he was like, they didn't realize you can't just leave them. But a lot of people didn't realize a lot of things. We stopped making things because we thought demand would go down, and now things...
Demand's at an all-time high for everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told us like 9 months for some inverter, and it's like, do you need to birth it or something? Like, so stuff like that. But we are happy they're back.
Yeah.
We could just be happy. Yeah. No, we're not, our whole attitude here is like, if something good happens, you say it's good, but we don't bow down to the corporations. They're not going to bow down to you.
Yeah. My whole thing was like, I saw a lot of people being happy, but I was like, if I see anyone that's like saying thank you, I'm like, shut up.
No. Yeah.
Shut up.
Thank you for this wonderful gift. It's like, no, we're just happy they're back because we're tired of walking.
Yeah.
So, next headline, curtain call at El Capitune Theater. We have a closing date for Mickey's Toontown. That is March 9th. So, go get your coffee that you didn't know they sold there.
Dude, that's 2 weeks from now, huh?
Yeah, they said March.
It's coming fast. I have a friend that's flying down from Orlando to come check it out on March 8th.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
a big deal. It's going to be closed for a long time.
They said early 2023?
There's no way. I think it's going to be longer. It might be 2 years.
Well,
just think about all the delays like we were saying, just in materials.
Okay, but so they're closing it down to just do the new stuff, but Mickey and Minnie can open Toontown without opening Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, because that's just an entrance in that back building. So they can, it's like the Rise of the Resistance thing. They can open everything up and be like, it's open.
They might do that just to copy the whole Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge mantra that they had.
And, have that.
I mean, you also have to think, I found this out recently when Toontown opened. Roger Rabbit didn't open with the rest of the land for another 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mind blown by that.
We don't have a Avengers e-ticket really, so it's all kind of, it's a trend.
Yeah,
it seems.
Yeah.
Open things before they're done. So
Toontown is interesting because I know two different people that were involved in different ways. One behind the scenes, like in the design aspect, and then someone that is one of the contact construction workers on the project. And it's been so interesting getting all these updates and things like that. But there is one thing that I will say, and I won't name names of who told me, but everyone talked about today. This will be a Trammin exclusive.
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about oh, thank goodness Roger Rabbit is safe.
Even
let's just say come back to this podcast in 2 years.
Ooh.
You should get your rides in on Roger Rabbit for the next 2 years.
Wow. I would have thought the complete contrary, considering that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is coming out and Roger Rabbit is in it.
He's in it, but it's not his movie.
Right. Yeah, but it's like a quote unquote spiritual successor is what people are calling it.
Exactly.
I know. I was surprised by that too. Literally, I saw the trailer and then that day I was told that Roger Rabbit is done.
But,
although I will say I have heard conflicting statements on what it will be replaced by. It's going to be something Toontown character related, but I just feel like I have to provide a good service and let the Trammin people know, get your Roger Rabbit rides in.
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing this week.
I want to check out the queue more than the ride because they've been just passing you through. That queue it's beautiful.
That queue is amazing. It's so great.
It's claustrophobic, but I'm okay with that. It's worth it. So thank you for that. Thank you for that scoop. So
I mean, like I said, you didn't hear it from me, even though you did hear it from me.
we didn't hear it from the person you heard it from.
Exactly.
Got it. So next headline, March Munchies, the Food and Wine Festival. I don't know if the guide's up, but the booths are coming up. The booth names are up.
Ooh.
But the food's not, right? So is this going to be the same food and wine that we had right before the pandemic?
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's what I'm afraid of too.
Because
that's a good point.
So Festival of Holidays, we did an episode on it in 2020, just talking about the last one, just because for fun. And then we were going to do one last year. And then I realized I tried 95% of the items the 2 years before.
Yeah,
so,
because it was the same thing.
And this festival was only there for 3 weeks in 2020. So I did eat everything there, but many did not. So no one would even know if it was the same, but I would. And I will. So we'll see.
I hope they bring back the bacon mac and cheese carbonara. That was really good.
I usually talk a lot of crap about mac and cheese because you can just make mac and cheese.
But you
And
tried.
there's a lot of bad mac and cheese.
There
out
is.
there.
There is. You tried that corn one, the one with the dried corn.
The elote one.
There you go.
With the carnitas.
And you said you liked it, right?
That one was good because it was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, the carbonara is a nice touch though. I have tried this one. I have had a bite. It doesn't taste quite like mac and cheese. It tastes like,
Yeah, it's like more closer to pasta.
yeah. And our final headline, and we got a lot of words about this one. Dystopia. Story Living by Disney has been announced. A licensed Disney real estate property that Disney is not owning, building, operating, insuring, being responsible for. They are just possibly staffing with cast members, whatever they mean by that. And the first one announced is called Cotino in Rancho Mirage, which is near Palm Desert. It is in the middle of the desert. And
hot.
And hot.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
before we get into it, I just want to say I saw a tweet or something that was making fun of this whole thing. And it was like, Blue Lagoons brought to you by Crystal Lagoon Technology. And I thought someone was like satirizing Disney and all the weird things they do. No, that's a real thing.
Oh, wow.
Disney has something that they call Crystal Lagoon Technology that keeps the lagoons blue.
And it's going to be in
What?
Story Living?
The oasis in the middle, it's going to keep that water looking bluish. I don't know what that means. It kind of creeps me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Matthew, you're a
Wait,
friend.
I have that technology too. I just realized.
Yeah.
It's I have these pellets that I put in like the back of my toilets that like keeps the water blue and like cleans them.
You're right. You're
So
right.
actually, Disney, you should check out Target because I think someone took your idea.
I really want to know what creepy thing this is, because it can't be a dye.
Yeah.
You're just gonna paint the ground. I don't know. Maybe it is a dye that you could drink.
They put food coloring in the water in Rivers of America, like you said, right? Not food coloring, but
they do something.
yeah.
But
They put it's like a blue version of whatever they
Maybe,
use
yeah.
in Universal Studios Hollywood in the studio tour when Jaws gets the diver. They start shooting up the red blood.
Yeah.
so Matthew, you are a friend of Defunctland, and more.
Mhm.
And this started trending.
Yeah, that's right. It did. It did start trending.
The Epcot documentary, which was Walt Disney's experimental prototype community or city of tomorrow, where he wanted to plan a community. And this is like eerily similar, even though Disney's not running it, but it's kind of like, hey, you will live on Disney property with Disney employees, the Disney way. We will build your homes. This whole thing's weird, right?
Well, a couple of things. One, I want to address the fact that, addressing that aspect of it. The thing is, when it came to the idea of Epcot, that's actually, I feel like, where like the criticisms start for this, because when it came to Epcot, the whole thing was about like creating like a perfectly connected community. Whereas this is the exact opposite. It's like a community that the only forms of transportation are cars or walking, and they put a giant stupid lagoon in the center that literally makes it impossible to navigate.
Right.
So for that reason, you could throw the Epcot comparison out the window, because Epcot was like actually like really well thought out and probably wouldn't have worked, but like at least like it was more thought out in terms of like all the different modes of transportation.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just like, here's houses in a giant lake.
Epcot was a so crazy it just might work. And
Yeah.
this is just like, what? Like just it's gonna
just
work,
like,
but it's not crazy.
This is just like, hey, can you guys fix Tomorrowland? Like,
yeah.
Please.
Okay. So
can you just like do anything else?
before we get to the reality of the situation, I saw the funniest thing. It goes, hey, like, can we just fix the boulder in Indy? Like, like that's all we ask at this point. But
like anything else.
But I think I know why that's not going to, well, I know why, we all know why it's not going to happen, but also I don't think Disney's spending any money on this besides two Imagineers drawing up things, because someone else is paying Disney for the Disney license.
Have they said what the company is?
I think they brought up,
I think they did. In
it's
the
some other
video.
world-class developer or whatever.
Because there's a lot of these little communities in that area already, in Indio, in Coachella Valley.
So yeah, people were trying to compare this to Celebration Florida, but someone actually, or a few people have said this is more like Is it Golden Oaks in Florida? It's a high-end living community, so it's not like. Because Celebration fell apart.
So they're not condos, right?
They're homes, but I think like townhomes probably. They're all stuck together or whatever.
Yeah.
But Disney's not. I think Disney's just doing art for some of this and the layout. But
yeah, it's almost like I've heard of like Disney doing, and I feel like maybe just licensing the name Disney to it. Oh, I see. With it's called DMB Development, a Scottsdale-based developer, specializing in unique communities in the Western U.S. Yeah, this is like not unlike a lot of things that. I mean, you have to think like, Disney doesn't make roller coasters anymore.
True.
Yeah.
Matterhorn and like stuff like that, but like ever since then, like. For pretty much the rest of Disney's history, like they go to roller coaster companies and say, "Hey, can you build us the roller coaster?" And then we'll design everything else around it. The same has worked the other way around for Imagineering, where Imagineering has been asked, like, "Hey, can you guys design stuff?" Like, I'm pretty sure like the Americana was designed by Imagineers.
Was it really?
That building structure in the center of LAX with the restaurant up top, I've heard that was also designed by Imagineers as well.
Yeah, so, Disney's lending their name for money, some expertise, but in the end, it's just like something being called Disney. But yeah, the difference between the roller coaster analogy is those are in Disney parks and Disney manages them and makes sure they're awesome. This is going to be, I don't know, Disney might check in.
Every once in a while. I mean, they probably will have like a representative there.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, this is really interesting. So I won't say which community, but my girlfriend actually lived in one of their communities before we moved up to Los Angeles.
And how was that?
That's great. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely gorgeous there.
All right.
And it's fairly new, but yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. Yeah, that's really interesting.
I love Disney. Obviously, we have a Disneyland podcast.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know if I'd want to live Disney though.
It's a little much.
Yeah.
It's a little past our fandom.
Storytelling, story living. It's like, how about I live my life and then I go read the story sometimes?
Yeah.
Like not go at what probably would have been cooler is another Aulani type thing where you can go have a Disney experience that's not a theme park. Instead of like, hey, it's all or nothing. Your whole life or nothing else. But
yeah, do you guys remember that or have you ever heard of the Disney ski resort that Walt Disney tried to get off the ground and then it never happened? It was supposed to be in Northern California.
I have not heard of that one. There's a lot of stuff
that he tried doing, man.
Okay, so real quick, I'll just cover real quick for you guys. So Walt Disney, right before they started working on Walt Disney World, he went to a ski resort and he was like, "Hey, we should make a ski resort." And they wanted to build it in the Sequoia National Park. And it was going to be this big, sprawling, beautiful, like ski resort / community thing. And it was going to have, a bunch of different forms of entertainment. But the most interesting thing, in my opinion, about Mineral King Ski Village is that they obviously, like, the main focus of a ski resort is like to go there and to ski and to enjoy the wilderness and all that stuff and nature. That being said, they were like, well, there's got to be some attraction that we could put into the ski resort, right? And obviously Walt was really into animatronic shows. And so he was like, hey, Mark Davis, why don't you whip up like an animatronic show idea for us? And so he was like, okay, well, what are you thinking? He's like, well, we're in a forest. Forests have bears. So make a show about animatronic bears. And so he started to create the Country Bear Jamboree. And it was so literally imagine there's Disneyland, and then you could drive up to the Sequoia National Forest and go to a Aulani-esque Disney resort, but for skiing, and it was going to be built in 1965. And the Country Bear Jamboree would be an animatronic show there, not at Walt Disney World.
Wow.
And so that plan got reused for Walt Disney World when that got created. And then, of course, brought over to Disneyland as well. But isn't that so weird?
That's odd. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I totally agree. Like, I was really disappointed when I heard this news because I was like, why are you guys trying to do the housing thing? The housing thing didn't work for you guys. It already didn't work in Florida. Why are you guys doing this again? If you guys were smart, you guys would be building more resorts because, like, you know, for me, being honest, like, there's a lot of places that I can think of where I'm like, you almost are pulling me over, but I wouldn't really go. But then if you told me, well, there's a Disney resort there and there's a stupid animatronic show that you can only see there and nowhere else, and also you can go to some Disney themed restaurants, I'll be like, okay, you got me. Then I'll go.
Yeah, like I like Mammoth, and it's like, oh, instead of going there, if I want a mountain trip, oh, go to, you know.
You totally would have gone, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
like, I love the idea of Palm Springs, but like, there's not really anything there for me. Like,
yeah.
unless I'm going to like go golfing for 3 days in a row. So if there was a Disney resort there, then yeah, I would go.
I think they said there's going to be a hotel or something, but I'm not sure. But now the idea of the third park or third American park was floated. I'm not completely surprised because, you know, the economy is real weird right now, even though everyone's got record profits. But like, how is there not talk? I mean, maybe there is, of a park in Texas.
Smack dab in the middle of the country.
Middle of the country. Texas is really popular with tourists. It's got a huge population, and it has
huge
like no
theme park.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, there's a lot of theme parks there.
Cheap land. There's, you know, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. And
yeah, you're right.
And probably like no tax breaks.
And you got tons of Disney fans out there.
Yeah. And then you kind of like, instead of people having to choose between East and West Coast, boom, just go to Texas, lower the attendance. There will just be more room. And then
you don't think it'll lower the attendance at all?
Here's what, it's kind of like the freeway thing. When you add a lane to the freeway and, you know, traffic doesn't get better.
Yeah.
It gets better for a moment, but now the freeway can handle more people. So then more people are willing to get jobs that are farther, and then they get on the freeway. So now when Disney's less insane, more people will show up.
Got it.
And think of like all the people, even in Texas, where they can afford to go to Disneyland. They can't afford to fly in California and stay there. Boom. And all the other people, that whole area, even like the Midwest. I know Texas is way down there, but it's like.
Yeah, but it's going to make it a lot more accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah. And Texas, I mean, would be perfect for them just because of the tax situation. You know, now a couple of laws are weird now, but right before that, not too bad with all that. But yeah, weird concept. It's dirt right now, so we won't hear about this. We'll probably get Splash Mountain before we get this. So
yeah, probably.
Yeah. So let's have our little interlude with. I forgot to bring the stand up for you.
With Kirk and Rain.
So my brother Kev likes to concoct things, and we're still on his beer series. So
what do we got today?
This is a peach beer.
Ah, all right.
But it is a spicy peach beer. So let's cheers to Matthew.
And cheers to the
I'm gonna cheers too with my Mickey Mouse water bottle.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Bing.
This is good.
Nice little spice
water.
in there.
Little kick.
Water.
So yeah, this is the same peach series with the mixed yeasts and all that. I thought he did something. There might be a little mango in it. That same mango.
It reminds me of the spicy mango curd.
Now, you would think he got real creative with how he made it spicy. He just put Cholula in it. So yeah, it is beer with Cholula in it.
I'm glad it's Cholula, not Tapatio. That's all I'm saying.
Vibe check on Cholula versus Tapatio, Matthew.
I'm not a spicy guy, so I have nothing to add to this.
Right.
I'm Salvadorian, not Mexican. Mexican people are the ones that like Tapatio and Cholula.
Yeah, I'm not big into spicy, which is why I like Cholula. It's a lot more Cholula.
Cholula.
Tapatio, it's like you drop a little too much, it's over.
I just don't like the taste of Tapatio.
Well, yeah, no love for Tapatio here, I guess. But finally, it's time for our Big Thunder topic of the week. What is it? Trams, trains, and automobiles, the transportation of Disneyland. So, in honor of the trams coming back, let's finally do this. Now, I need to be honest. Kimmy has asked me to do this episode 1,000 times.
Has she really?
Yes. As of recording, she does not know we're doing this.
Oh, wow. Nice little treat.
Yeah.
A little
Wednesday.
treat, a little surprise.
Yeah. And
It's
yes.
a Trammin miracle.
Yeah. I have to call it out because I didn't come up with this on my own. You know, it's a little bit of an Uncut Gems situation. So it's like but I won't say Muse. I don't like the whole Muse concept. But thank you for inspiring this episode, Kimmy, and let's get into it. So, Walt Disney was fascinated, to say the least, with transportation, and he didn't just want that displayed in the parks. He wanted transportation to be part of the parks, used by them and all that. And he had some regular ideas. He had some wacky ideas. So let's start out with getting to Disneyland. Now, not necessarily in the beginning, but there has been the land, air, and sea concept. I may or may not have heard this on Defunctland. Who knows at this point? But Walt Disney originally imagined guests being able to get to Disneyland many ways because he thought driving was like terrible.
Yeah.
He's like, that's got to be on its way out one day. For a while, was this during his time? There was the helicopter that took you to Disneyland. That
was fancy.
That was, but it crashed.
Did it crash?
Yes. And there were fatalities. And I don't know if it was only once, which is even worse, but they stopped that. I know there was going to be the Disney park. Now,
airline.
No, there was an airline. Wasn't there? Like some weird Eisner thing?
I think so. That's a Defunctland episode.
Yeah.
I know that.
And then this was later, right? Where they wanted to do a park where the Queen Mary is.
Yeah, that was original Disney Sea. Right?
That was Eisner. Yeah.
That
was OG Disney
and
Sea.
there's your ocean. I'm sure they would have had a way to get there.
Yeah.
By boat.
I mean, that's why in Disney World you can go in by boat.
Yeah.
Or monorail.
Yeah, and
or Skyway.
Or Skyway.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I guess that counts as air now.
So yeah, right now this is just getting to Disneyland, and all you can really do is drive yourself or do a ride share and Arctic type thing. But yeah, when you drive yourself, you have a few options. You got Mickey and Friends.
You do.
Which I think now is finally a good option because the trams are back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's that mile walk.
Yeah. You've got Toy Story lot.
What?
And that I don't like.
I love.
Oh, I hate it.
You hate it? Why do you hate it?
I've had so many people that are like, Toy Story is great. And I'm like,
no,
not for me.
It's hot.
Yeah. No, it's like, it doesn't give me like the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no vibe there. Yeah.
There's no vibe. And also,
no.
I feel like there's a nostalgia thing to Mickey and Friends. Like you get out Mickey Friends, you're like, oh, I'm here. And then whenever I get on Toy Story, I'm like, oh, like Toy Story. Here's the thing about Toy Story. Every time that I'm in Toy Story, when I walk around in Mickey and Friends, I'm like reminded of like, oh my God, like I'm here at Disneyland. I can't wait. Every time I'm at Toy Story, all the memories flood back of, oh my God, I just spent an hour circling around Ball and Harbor and finally just had to settle on Toy Story. It's like, that's the vibe that Toy Story gives. It's not a good vibe.
Toy Story's like, hey, go in the pile with all the other trash. You know, it's like, get out of here. Like this is the overflow. It's hot. There used to not be bathrooms, but there are now.
Nice bathrooms too.
And also, there's a reason that this podcast is called Trammin and not Bussin'.
You know what? You're right.
The trams are just so much more magical than the buses are.
That they are.
Yeah.
However, if they were anything like Florida's buses, actually, no, I don't like the Walt Disney World buses. If they were anything like Universal Orlando's buses, those are lit.
I have not been on them.
Universal Orlando's have HD screens on them, and they play in-park music on it.
Oh, that's nice.
So
That's
while I
nice.
was in there, I was like, oh my God, they're playing Seuss Landing music. They're playing Marvel Superhero Island music. They're playing Jurassic Park music, but not Jurassic Park from the movies, like the version of the Jurassic Park theme for the land and Alice Adventure.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't have that.
And honestly, I wish that the trams had that. I guess it's nice now that the Mickey and Friends parking structure has the Esplanade playing there as well.
And the
that I could settle for.
The trams have, I mean, we'll get to the spiel and the cast member talking. By the time that's over, spiel. You're there. Like, there isn't much silence, so you're fine there. But yeah, Toy Story, you get out and you're like, get my sunglasses on. It's like, don't put.
It's always the brightest place on earth. Why is that?
Don't put boat straps because your back's gonna get sweaty.
Yeah.
You know,
and we lose our car there.
Yeah, we did that last time because it feels like going to the market where you just leave your car and you're like, I'll find it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'll find
it. Actually feels like a grid that you can actually go, okay. Yeah. This many forward and this many to the left, whereas like get out into the story line. It's like I just got dropped off in the desert.
Yeah,
I'm like, which way is town?
It has like tentacles, you know, there's like gates just blocking you from going to the other row.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, when there's like fences blocking off like into different sections of the parking lot, you're like, wait, how did I cross over here in the first place?
And there were the short fences, weren't they? Because we could see over them.
There's also that one.
Yeah.
And then they yell at you on the bus. They're like, "Don't get out here unless you're a Jesse. Stay in the bus."
And then, Toy Story. And then there's local hotels, which I've never stayed at one of those because you see people
parked there though.
Yeah, Anaheim. Yeah,
I need to hype up a local hotel.
Okay.
I gotta put the Tram and fam onto this one. Hojo. The Howard Johnson of Anaheim. It's right there. It's right across the street. Do yourself a favor. Stay at the Hojo. If you're thinking about going to Disneyland, I would recommend it over all of Disney's hotels.
Wow.
Okay. I got to look into that. I mean, I wouldn't need to stay there. And Rain lives in Anaheim now.
Yeah.
But, let me tell you, great parking.
Okay.
It is a shorter walk than any of the Disney hotels to the front gate.
Is this the one on Ball?
This is where Mimi's Cafe is.
Or no, this is the one on Harbor. Yeah, right next to Mimi's Cafe.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's on Harbor. It is in total. I've timed it. It's an 8-minute walk, and that's getting through security and everything.
All right.
The hotel itself gives off like all the vibes that you want for a Disney hotel. They have Disney artwork inside of the hotel. They have artwork from Wonderground inside the rooms. Throughout the main hotel and the hallways and in the elevator, they have vintage Disneyland posters, and the whole hotel is mid-century themed.
Mid-century modern, all right.
So because of all this, I'm assuming it's part of the Disney system where like you can get the mornings or whatever. Back when they did that, that's because it's over right now. They haven't done it in.
Yeah, because I think that I think back then it was, yes.
Okay.
But like I said, like the walk is so short and convenient that it's the same convenience that you would get from a Disney hotel, and then also pretty much the same amount of theming for like a third of the price.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a shocking number of listeners from out of town or out of state. So there you go, guys. Yeah, you can.
And they tend to stay overnight every time.
And
right?
by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, but I was definitely hyping it up on Twitter. If you guys saw the thing about the House of the Future hotel room, that people were talking about on Twitter.
Yeah,
Sam Carter had a part in working on it a little bit, and he tweeted about it. That is a suite that you can stay in at the Howard Johnson. Wow. So the Howard Johnson has themed Disney suites. So the newest one, which looks amazing, and me and my girlfriend are on a wait list for it right now, is they have a House of the Future room that looks incredible. And it honestly looks better than any of the suites that they have at any of the Disney hotels here on the West Coast. I'm just like not a fan of the West Coast Disney hotels at all. I think that they're horribly outdated, they're horribly themed, and they're so overpriced.
I like the Grand Californian, but I would like any hotel that looks like that. It doesn't have to be Disney. You know what I mean? I'm just into that whole aesthetic.
Like, I like the lobbies.
Yeah.
But like strictly talking the rooms are horrible, especially for what they're charging.
Yeah, like when I went, it was a lot, but now it's a lot more. So it's just ridiculous now. Yeah. So
the only suite that I've stayed in at the Howard Johnson was they have a Pirates of the Caribbean suite. And
wow.
I invited a couple of friends over, and they were like shocked that it wasn't a Disney suite. They were like, "This is amazing."
definitely gonna.
I'm gonna really look into this now.
So
yeah, Howard Johnson, Anaheim.
Huh.
So yeah, beyond the hotels, you can for some reason park at Simba if you're gonna spend money in downtown Disney.
I wonder what it maxes out at.
Okay, but so
$60 was the last I heard.
Someone gave Rain this great idea. It was a cast member.
Yeah,
you spend the $10 and park, and then you go buy a $20 Disney gift card, which gets you the validation, and you're gonna spend that $20 gift card on just other things.
Can you actually do that?
Yeah,
I did it for him.
No kidding.
Yeah. So good 5-hour trip. It's probably worth it.
That's your $20
validation. Yeah, so that gives you 5 hours.
What is it?
I think it's 5 hours. Yeah, I think you're right.
No, it might be 3 plus the 1.
Plus, so 4.
It might be 4.
But I mean 4. Hey.
And you're gonna spend the 20.
I was thinking. I was like, either like what I'm gonna do next year is I'm either not gonna renew my pass, or maybe I'll just lower it to the absolute lowest one, and then just go like 3 times a year and get my fix in. But if that's the case, because the thing is, the thing that got me into getting the pass all over again was because I love just whenever I'm passing through OC and I need like time to kill, I love just spending time at the resort. I don't even really necessarily like going to the parks anymore. It's mainly just the resort, but the resort is behind, like a $30 like parking fee.
Yeah,
it's bad.
However, spending $20 to get like a couple of hours, like that's. And yeah, if you could just get a gift card, that's amazing.
Yeah, you do that. There is a $10 parking fee, but then
you have to pay the $10.
Yeah,
and then you have to get the 20.
But if you're gonna go eat, there's your gift. If you're gonna spend the gift card, the gift card could go in the app for mobile orders and all that stuff. The gift card works on Shop Disney.
You can save it for later.
Yeah, it's gift cards are, and I think you can transfer gift cards between each other, so it's not the worst thing if you.
And it's about as long of a walk as it already has been from Mickey Friends Park structure. So.
Oh, and there's the monorail.
And you can get straight to the monorail.
Yeah.
Which transitioned us into.
Yeah. You can get in to Disneyland with the monorail.
Hey.
So I was gonna do this later, but we'll do it now because it works. So. If you want to get into Disneyland and you don't need Main Street, it's amazing.
It's probably, in my opinion, I think the best way to get into the park.
You start the park with a ride already.
Yeah.
Because it is a ride.
Yeah.
I will say it is. The tram, we have fun with whether or not it is, but it's technically not an attraction on the map. But the monorail is. It feels, it's starting to feel a little dated, but it's a little futuristic. You end up in Tomorrowland, but it doesn't just dump you there. It does a little...
Nice little loop-de-loop.
It circles around a little bit. You get up to the monorail, the Matterhorn.
You see Finding Nemo.
Yeah. You get a lot of nice views. It's a lot of fun, but it only takes you to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So something I kind of wanted to talk about. Should there be a stop in DCA? And on top of that, should all tickets become park hoppers? Disney could raise the price like they want. Which I know it sucks, but they're going to do it anyway. But then a lot of people will say, someday I'll go to DCA. I'm going to buy my Disneyland ticket because that's the expensive ticket. I don't want to pay for a park hopper. The park hopper is the only one. That's the one you pay for. At some point during the day, if every single person has a park hopper, they will walk over to DCA.
Dude, people will riot if you have to buy a park hopper.
They'll riot and then they'll buy the park hoppers. Because no one boycotts anything ever. So people would step over there. They would increase attendance at DCA, lower it a little at Disneyland, which, is an issue.
I feel like it's already super crowded.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know if it's a Lunar New Year thing or what, but
it's the Lunar New Year.
Okay.
But a lot of days, Disneyland's crazy. And then you walk into DCA and you're like, oh, no one's here.
Yeah.
And it's not always that way, but this would even things out a little bit. And the monorail can be more a form of transportation than just in and out of Disneyland. What do you think, Matthew?
I actually have a dream project of mine when it comes to Disneyland, and that would be to completely redo the Disneyland monorail and the monorail system. And yeah, I totally would have a stop in DCA. I'm not sure where. Maybe Avengers Campus. Now that you have Avengers Campus, I feel like that would make the most sense. But my monorail system, what I would do is it would combine everything that makes the Skyway and People Mover and the monorail like also great. Combine all of that together. And so what I would do is imagine, like, you know how the monorail, like, you know, even though it feels like one big long thing, it really is made up of just, you know, multiple cars, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you would do it. Either each car would be individually powered or the track itself would be powered. But what you would do is when all the cars are loaded into the station, it gives the effect of, oh, the monorail is here and it's passing through. However, each car would, so the loading platform for the monorail would be a continuous moving walkway. And so you could do it like the Skyliner, where you just load it, close the door up, and by the time it gets to the end, take off. And so that way, it's wheelchair accessible, it's stroller accessible, it's way more efficient, because if there's a car that needs extra time for people to load out, you could just send that car off to the side, off to like a different track or something like that. And yeah, you could have a speedy, revamped monorail system like that.
And then you could send, I mean, you could even send cars to different destinations if there was more tracks or stops or whatever.
That too.
I really like what they do in Universal Orlando with the Hogwarts Express, taking you between the two parks. It's a full experience. I mean, so is the monorail, but like an internal experience. But then again, I want to see the outside of Disneyland. So I don't know.
But the thing is, have you guys done the Skyway in Walt Disney World?
I have, yeah.
I've never been to Walt Disney World.
The Skyway
I know
is amazing.
Yeah,
the Skyway is my favorite transportation system when it comes to anything at any of the theme parks. I think it's amazing because I like it because like it's kind of like the monorail too, where it like gives you like just that little taste of like the theme parks. But also can just be like a completely neutral, like we're just going to take you from one resort to the other. Yeah. But it is so damn efficient.
Where'd you take it from? And to, I guess.
Listen, there is on this recent Walt Disney World trip, which we'll circle back to later on in the episode when we talk about food. Because I had a good food trip this past Walt Disney World trip. But there is one day that we had that was kind of an awkward day where we were like, okay, my girlfriend was there for work. She was actually shooting for Disney Weddings, and it's on YouTube right now. If you look up Disney Weddings, she was one of the models in front of Cinderella's castle.
Dude, I swear, I go to Target now and I see her. I watch Euphoria and I see her. Like, what the?
Yeah, she's everywhere. And now she's at Disney Weddings. Yeah, love her. She's a boss. But yeah, so the first shoot day that she had of that, it was overnight, and so they were going to start at like, they needed her at the hotel at like something like 6 p.m. or something like that. So we were like, okay, that's kind of awkward. We're like not going to be able to squeeze a theme park day in. So like, let's just not even try to do that. And I had the idea. I was like, you know, I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to explore around the resorts, just check out all of the hotels. And so we came up with a plan. Me, my girlfriend, and my friend, because my friend was like, that sounds amazing. I'm doing that with you guys as well. And so we did all of the hotels connected to the Skyliner. So that's Art of Animation, Pop Century, the Riviera, the Caribbean, and then everything in that boardwalk loop next to Epcot.
Okay.
So like,
and it hits Hollywood Studios also, right?
Yes, but we just didn't go over there because basically like it's like an L to go from Art of Animation to Epcot, and then there's a separate little tick to go to Hollywood Studios.
Oh, okay.
So we just kept riding past that, and then took an Uber to Epcot, and then took the monorail to go to Contemporary, Floridian, and the Polynesian.
Yeah. Nice.
And then ended my day when everyone else left to go shoot all their wedding things, because my friends were also there for a Disney wedding thing, but it wasn't for Disney weddings. It was for an actual Disney wedding.
Wow.
And would you believe that this all got scheduled on the same day, and we all got to basically have a vacation together? It was nuts.
That's awesome.
But later that day, I also went to Fort Wilderness, and so that was how I ended off my day.
Yeah,
And,
that's where I've stayed, Fort Wilderness and Animal Kingdom Lodge.
So I don't want to, dwell on the buses again, but we're still on the getting around thing. I just want to ask, you've been on the Toy Story bus a lot recently.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it faster now?
It depends on.
There's a different route. I swear it used to be like this huge. Yeah. I was on it once for like 10 minutes and I'm like, I want to die.
The entrance where you used to go into, where the cars would go into, is now moved to right around the corner. But now that's where the buses cut through to get into the parks faster, from my understanding.
Okay.
Because if you put in Google Maps, like we did, it takes you to where the buses come out, not where the cars are actually supposed to enter.
Got it. So they just figured it out somehow.
I guess so.
And then
amazing.
This isn't official, but there are golf carts that I've seen people on driving around downtown Disney. I don't know.
They're cast members, aren't they?
They look like guests.
What?
Like there was a kid on the golf cart. The kid's not a cast member. I don't know. I don't know what
VIPs,
that's
I guess.
about. I know Universal has their own little golf carts. I got into Universal on a golf cart once.
So did I.
My aunt worked there. And
so you got to go around backstage. I've heard they stopped doing that now.
Oh, they stopped doing that?
For the past couple of years, yeah, my friend was talking to me about that because he used to be one of those people that was like, yeah, I knew a friend and we would just drive around the studios. Apparently, ever since Comcast acquired them, they were like, that's not a thing anymore.
Well, she didn't drive us around. She just was like, hey, meet me at this entrance and then I will just take you to the park. It was terrifying because we were on the back of the golf cart and there's just the little post and Universal has hills
that are like this.
Went straight up the hill and we're like holding on for our lives, trying not to fall out of the back of this thing. We were children, but it was pretty awesome.
Years ago, my old friend Diana had an uncle who worked as the person who would push the button for the plane to come through in Waterworld. And he took us to Animal Actors and we took pictures with the monkeys.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
Cool. Yeah, it was fun.
So, finally, getting around the resort, the Mickey and Friends Tram. Well, we're all here.
Old Faithful.
I don't know how faithful it was for a while, but first of all, the sound of it pulling up is like this iconic.
It's iconic.
It feels good. Like it's so silly to be talking about this, but it just because it doesn't sound like an engine.
Yeah,
it's natural gas. So it's got its own little like purring sound and you can kind of hear it ramping up as it comes towards you, but it's obviously not like the Autopia sound. It's not like a revving car because the exhaust is just heat. It's not like this exhaust pipe that's just like,
and that's because of natural gas, right? Yeah.
And so of course there's that. There is the Tram Voice, which somehow our intro guy
I just sent him over the actual official recording. He's like, yeah, I can try to do that. All right, cool. And he did.
Voice actors, man. They're great. And what do you, he's going to pull up something.
I thought something just like fell over.
Oh, okay. I thought you had some like extremely relevant thing. Like you,
no.
Like you definitely would.
We have a nice little diecast.
Yeah. It's incorrect.
Oh, so cute.
It's the
Disney World one.
So they sell it as like the Disney Tram. And it's just the Walt Disney World. Like, come on, Disney.
Yeah, the Disney World one is lame. The Disneyland one is awesome.
Yeah, it looks.
Also, that honk is iconic.
Yeah, the honk. Yeah, it feels good.
I mean,
also, you guys need to like once the trams are back, you guys need to like talk to some cast member to see if they can get you to stand near the back of the tram and give off a driver you are clear and then have them honk.
Well, that would be awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, because
that's where it all started.
When we used to wear the masks outside, because that was a thing. They'd be like, "Oh my God, are those the trams?" Like, yeah,
so many cast members are so excited about them.
Yeah, and some, at security, there. I've like worn. We just have 2 shirts, like our own, because we bought it as like a test, and they've just been like, "Yeah, I wish we were tramming." Like, they'll be back soon, stuff like that. And of course, all our stickers and stuff. But yeah, it's become our whole thing.
But even before tramming. You were tramming.
Yeah,
You specifically were tramming. I wasn't tramming yet.
Yeah, I've got all the videos playing jamming as going down on the tram.
Yeah.
And that was the lyrics for today.
Yeah,
up at the top.
you're right.
But yeah, now this is a silly one. I just think the door handles are genius because you have to turn them upwards, which means a child cannot open that door and jump out.
It's a child lock without having
It's
to
like
lock people in.
It's like this
without having locks.
It's like the security by obscurity thing. It's like it's not actually more secure. I mean, it is because you can't fall on it, I guess, right? You can't lean on it. But yeah, kids are smart. They'll figure it out eventually. By the time they do, they know not to jump out of the tram.
Yeah.
But I love that. And so this is just like it's not that, like if you know, it's a little bit more common than that. But when it's a cold day or a cold night, it's time to go home. And you almost think of walking because you don't want to sit on the edge of the tram and just have the cold wind
pierce you.
No, I love it.
I love it. I'll sit on the outside, and it's kind of cool when you sit in the front. There's the shield, but you get a little bit of the heat from the engine to warm you up as you're going. And I've called them out before. I love all cast members. They're all wonderful. We don't deserve them, and they deserve more pay. But there's this cast member who draws out his spiel every time. What he does is he pauses and then speeds up the way he talks.
I've had this guy.
And it's just like, dude.
I think I've had this guy too.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, I get it. You're trying to be funny, whatever. Like, come on. Just finish.
Just say the spiel.
Yeah, just say the spiel. This spiel feels a little dirty now because they bring up the app. I know, the app rules all, reservations, Genie, all this stuff, but like they bring up the app. It's like, make sure to download the Disneyland app to do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ugh. Like it feels like the tram's just been the same thing forever. And now it's like, are they going to advertise things on the tram at some point?
Did I send you the video of I think it was at a D23 where the tram announcer did the tram spiel on stage?
I think so.
Yeah, that was awesome. So he's
I
still there.
have seen that.
Yeah.
I love that panel. They did it a couple of times and then they stopped doing it right around the time when D23 became the worst convention ever. But it was really fun whenever they used to have like all the voice actors and they would like have a different cast like every year.
So Rain's going.
Is it the worst convention ever? Because I've never gone.
But
if you can get a refund, you should do it as soon as possible.
I refuse to go because it is a press conference with just way too many people running around being psycho.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you. I went in 2013, 2015, and 2017. Those times, favorite convention ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went in 2019. And it was the worst convention I've ever been to.
Yeah. Do you go to?
And what is the common denominator?
Bobby?
Mr. Chapek.
Now, that's when they got like there was this stampede and everything, right?
There was a stampede?
Yeah, they overbooked one of the panels or something, and people just.
I do Comic-Con every year.
This is why
so I could do. I mean, I feel like I can do it.
I don't know.
I've got Rick and Morty panels.
If you like a convention where you're going to wait in long lines just to buy merchandise, then have fun. But there's nothing else that they have to offer you anymore. It used to be like you could do like these amazing photo ops and like you'd walk past a wall and be like, oh my God, this is like a wall full of all of these things. And how neat is that? And like it felt genuinely like a celebration. It's kind of like how people are describing the Walt Disney World 50th compared to Disneyland 50th. It's like in the past, D23 felt like this is a thank you to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it feels like you're welcome.
That's because I've been to PlayStation Experience and that whole thing was like, we don't need, it wasn't a you're welcome. It was a thank you. It was like, we don't need to do this. We're just doing it because people love PlayStation just as a brand. So here, photo ops. We made real versions of these weapons and put them in a fake museum. There is a merch store, but half of it's online. So it's like, you don't need that. Obviously, you could play games, meet developers, it's little, but it was just like, and the Anaheim Convention Center was like, oh, hey, come just be around PlayStation fans. Oh, see this panel? It's in basically a stadium. Like,
Yeah.
So, but I'm
a little
over it.
nervous now, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, like just think about like 2015 Matt like walking around D23 and being and like me and my friends being like, oh my god, like there's just a wall full of like all of John Lasseter's like Hawaiian shirts from like every single Pixar movie, and we were
That's
like,
cool.
that's so random. They
Yeah.
just put that up there, but
Yeah.
like that's so fun because like obviously for years like everyone had heard about like and seen in behind the scenes like his shirts, and so in 2015 that was cool. You know, obviously now it's not that cool.
Yeah.
But 2015, yeah, that was super cool. And then it was like the next day, my friend calling me going, "Oh my god, everyone's saying that they're going to announce Star Wars Land today."
Oh.
Mm.
And then fast forward to 2019, me convincing my girlfriend like, "Hey man, we gotta check out this theme park panel. It's gonna be amazing." And then walking out with $5 Target gift cards and being like,
$5 Target gift cards.
it was horrible. Like in the past, they've been like, Fantastic 2.0 is premiering tonight and you're all invited, you know, or like all these amazing things like thanks for coming to the theme park panel and now everyone gets a free this, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then they ended it with a Target ad, and then they were like, yeah, we're closing down all the Disney stores and now there's going to be a shitty Disney section in every Target. Here's a $5 gift card, bye. And also 90% of the things they announced at that panel were lame as fuck, and then also didn't come to be. So,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we did an episode on cross promotion and how just everything is just like, here's a free button. Here's some stuff that's going to go in a landfill.
Here's some glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it's even funnier because they said millennials. I don't know how Gen Z is, but like the newer generations love experiences, not stuff.
yeah.
But they're giving us stuff and a lot of us don't care, but then way too many people eat it up.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yep.
we have too much stuff. Like there is a point. I kind of got over merch. Like I bought a sweater last year, but I really liked it. But I don't go looking for new sweaters all the time, right? I bought like that really in 2020. Kimmy and I got the red Christmas sweaters that were zipped up, and they look like nice, ugly Christmas sweaters,
Mhm.
but they weren't as like in your face Disney, whatever. But like,
You just passed by and you're like, oh, that's cool.
yeah, I
I'ma get
wasn't
it.
like, yeah, but like
Mhm.
these merch drops and like the new this, new that, $1,000 ears. It's like, what's the point? Like it's just stuff, you know?
Yeah, like all the popcorn buckets, like I look at them and I'm like, oh, that makes me happy. Like I'm happy that exists. Like the Figment popcorn bucket, I'm like, that made my day. The fact that they decided to make that like makes me happy. Do I need to own that? No.
Yeah.
I literally have nowhere to store that, and I have no purpose for that.
Rain used to collect popcorn buckets, and then at some point I would send him some, and he's like,
I got like 4 or 5, and then you're right. Like I started not knowing where to put these things.
yeah.
They started ending up in my office, at work. Like now I don't really buy it.
All right. So let's move on to getting around Disneyland itself. Let's start with the Main Street vehicles. I love these things,
Yeah.
but they're only around during the day. But
Why is that? Is that because of the fireworks? Because of the
The-
parade?
so
Crowds.
there's a lot more crowds at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the crowds get busy, the horses need to go home.
Mhm.
Once the horses leave Main Street, they go home to the ranch.
Yeah.
They
Which isn't at Disneyland anymore.
yeah, so they can't like take them out, bring them back in, and you know
Yeah.
it's. I'm sure horses have routines, and they're like, "Hey, you're done," and they're like, "Cool, I'm done." You know,
Mhm.
and then yeah, so you can't. It's all. I've seen them honk way too many times in the morning. People are not aware of anything these days,
Yeah.
Okay.
so they got to get them out of there. So I've never done the fire engine. Have either of you done that? The little one, the little car.
With the little old man driving in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. I feel like that one more than all the other vehicles. I've done all the vehicles. I feel like that one more than all the other ones I've been talked to by the driver.
Because it's usually like 1 or 2 parties, right? And
Pretty
they're-
intimate.
yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty intimate on that one. That one's a fun one.
Yeah, I've tried to do that, but the last time I tried it was like, only 1 party per car because, you know, the world right now. But yeah, that
Omnibus is superior in my opinion.
I do love the omnibus.
Yeah.
Omnibus up top
Up top for
is
sure.
so
Up top.
it's it's the perspective of Disneyland you almost never get.
Yeah.
Being above, just like, because Disneyland is meant to be looked at from the ground up, the perspective and all that stuff. And this is like, no, you're up here. And you look around, you see the castle at kind of eye level. And maybe even because of the forced perspective, you feel like you're even higher than you are.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love that. And it's kind of a shame that you're not near the driver, because even getting on and getting off of the omnibus, the driver is, whoever it is always so friendly. They have a little tiny conversation with you, and you feel like this was an amazing interaction.
Driving all the vehicles must be one of the best jobs in the world.
Because so this can technically get you from one end of Main Street to the other.
Mm-hmm.
But what these vehicles are, there's, of course, the little trolley with the horse, which I'm just not interested in. It's just, But what that is a driver who all he does, or they do, is drive and meet people. And who are these people? The people who have nowhere to be in a hurry, who want to have these conversations, probably. Who are just like, yeah, well, like,
why not?
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to get to the end of Main Street to get on this ride, to get to Peter Pan before it gets to 40 minutes. Yeah, I just want a little leisurely ride.
Stroll down Main Street.
So
I want to say real quick,
Mhm.
I think it's so funny that you corrected yourself with the pronouns, because I was going to ask, like, have you guys ever seen anyone that wasn't the oldest man you've ever seen driving the Main Street vehicles? Like, not talking the horse-drawn trolley, because I have seen
Always the horse-drawn,
a mix of men and women working on that. And obviously, of course, the trains and everything else at Disneyland. Specifically, those cars. I have never seen anyone except an old white man driving any of those.
So yeah,
my entire life.
They was one, just because, and two, because of usually the horse-drawn trolley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to those other three, I've never seen it be anyone else.
So I have a friend who's in not Disney HR, but just HR. But they, she's taken HR classes and stuff. They study Disneyland. And they said a big thing is, like, one, you can't fire people when they're old. And two, you don't necessarily want to if they've been around forever. And she said, notice the more, they're not ticket takers, but the ticket takers at the front, at the turnstiles. A lot of them are older people, because they want to still work at Disneyland, but they can't be like, oh, pull on the yellow strap. Oh, the kid didn't put it on. Got to put it on for them. It's like, they could sit on the chair. But I wonder if it's just like those vehicles are only there in the morning. So there's only like one or two of each max. So it's probably just the same person who's driven it forever. And they're not going to tell them, hey, this thing you do, we're going to replace you now. But now, because it's another important point was, you said the oldest man you've ever seen. The horse-drawn trolley they're usually younger. So So what will be like the thing to pay attention to is, let's say when those older gentlemen retire, who are they going to be replaced with? Where if it's the whole point is this is just an old man.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, because you see younger people get apprenticed into like the Disneyland trains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen younger people get apprenticed into any of those Main Street vehicles.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. Well, like many young people just don't drive anymore. I know so many people, like, the 18 to even 23, 24, they're just like, I don't have my license. What?
Dude, I have a cousin that's 29. Brandy has a cousin that's 34. They don't drive.
And
my girlfriend is just turned 26. She doesn't drive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because she doesn't want to, or other reasons?
Doesn't want to.
Huh.
Interesting.
Anxiety.
That's different. No, that's different. I'm saying the people who just can't be bothered to do it.
Oh yeah,
no.
She's mad that she can't drive.
No,
but she has horrible life-altering anxiety about it.
No, that's not what I was making fun. Definitely not making fun of that. Like,
right?
No,
yeah.
People who, I'm gonna say that's can't drive, right? That's different. I'm saying the people who are just like,
I see what you're saying.
They're just like, nah, I don't need to do it. I'm like, what? Just get the license at least if you're able to, like, because people would always say, I don't have a car. I'm like, when I was that age, I'm like, I don't have a car. My parents aren't gonna give me a car.
Yeah.
It's like, but I can drive one if I need to.
I think you're one of the first people in our class, right?
I was one of the youngest people in our class. I was like
15 and a
the
half.
third person to get a license because it was like, I want to be able to do this thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, parents let you borrow the car, or like, you know, God forbid, but something happens to your friend who's driving, you can drive the car in an emergency. No, yeah, it's the kids who are just like, they can't be arsed to drive. It's like, that's weird to me. So who knows? Maybe that'll play into it in the future. But yeah, that's something I'm gonna definitely pay attention to every time now.
To see who's actually driving.
Who's at the wheel?
Yeah.
Who's at the wheel? So let's see. What's next? The Tom Sawyer's Island rafts. These count because they get you from one place to another.
They do.
And I've heard recently that they are now offering around the island excursions.
We
did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
So
You did it? How was it?
okay, so we recorded episode 100's We Have It So Good part. We had people write in. They didn't know. We decided we're going to record it from, is it Lafitte or Lafayette?
Lafitte's.
Lafitte's
We
Island.
say
Lafitte's
Lafitte.
Island.
So we were going to do at Lafitte's Tavern on Tom Sawyer's Island, live from Lafitte's, even though it wasn't live.
Yeah.
It was closed, but we did it like right next to it. So we're like, we're going to record a part of this episode from Disneyland. So we got on a raft, and it took a little long way. You get on there, and then to get back all the way around the island.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It's
a different experience.
because the Mark Twain, you know, you can be low to the water, whatever, but you're on a big riverboat. This was just like,
Right.
oh, we're just out on this platform surrounded by rope going around these rivers, and there's
That's sick.
the Mark Twain was just parked. And I have it's like a 10-second video of just, I just said, are we going around the whole thing? And it's like, yeah, we are. And
The vibes.
it was
It was
really
cool.
cool.
That was
Like,
cool.
Immaculate.
and it's like it's long enough to be cool, but it's a little bit faster than the Mark Twain. So you're not like,
Really?
I think so, because the Mark Twain's a little,
I would think it's slower.
this has got like a little motor, and it's just like,
Because I always feel like the journey across from Tom Sawyer's Island back to New England Square is like,
I think that's because they have to slowly aim to whatever, but this
We're
was
going
like,
that makes
full-
sense.
you're
fully
just,
But if
torqued.
they're just going full throttle around
Yeah.
the river, wow, it's amazing.
and they're small, so they can take really
can
wide
zip.
turns too.
We're
They
like
don't
in a
have,
Mini Cooper.
I don't know. I'm sure someone's timed it, but yeah, that was a really cool thing to see, and you just felt like, you know, wind
That's
in your
lit.
face. Yeah, that was awesome. But I think this is really cool because this is besides, let's say Disney's got I know they've got boats under the waterfalls and stuff, right? But really, this is the only way to get Tom Sawyer's Island. They don't have a bridge that shows up. They don't have an underground tunnel. The cast members for Fantasmic get on one of these rafts at Hungry Bear and go across.
Well, they almost had an underground tunnel.
He knows everything. You know, well, you know,
Have you
all the
guys
good
never
stuff.
heard about this?
No.
This could be a whole
The
other podcast.
only
but
thing I know about is there is a tunnel under Tomorrowland, but it's just like one little
Yes.
access tunnel.
Yeah,
And it always annoys me when people are like, there are tunnels underneath Disneyland. I'm like, no, there's like
Other place.
the other one.
there's like a tunnel.
Okay, so what's
There's
this?
like a tunnel.
What's the tunnel that almost
It's
was?
so interesting. Okay, I'll try to say this really fast. It's funny that you bring up Lafitte's because
Oh no.
Lafitte. Like when you go to New Orleans Square next time, and when you are when you're going to Tom Sawyer's Island, New Orleans Square, Pirates of the Caribbean, you're gonna see Lafitte
Yeah.
everywhere. It's Lafitte's Landing, Pirates of the Caribbean. When you load onto the boat,
Mhm.
there's
Lafitte's
Lafitte
Anchor.
on Lafitte's Anchor. There's Lafitte on Tom Sawyer's Island, and basically what they wanted to do was they had this crazy idea of connecting Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, and Tom Sawyer's Island all with underground tunnels, and they were going to create this whole massive underground walkthrough thing on Tom Sawyer's Island, where there was going to be like a sunken ship. It was going to basically like connect the Pirates and the Haunted Mansion story together, where you're going to see like this crashed ship underground
Like a
with all
Goonies
these
situation.
skeletons. It was like a Goonies situation, yeah, basically.
Wow.
And the only remnant of this idea is, you know, that weird archway with like 1812 like written over it, and there's like red bricks, and it's like
I've
different from
always
any-
wondered what that is. That was like the access point?
it's a remnant of that idea
Dang.
Wow.
That's
that never came to
That's
be.
neat. That's cool.
too cool. And now I'm sure I feel like there was a video about this somewhere. I feel like
I
someone's
think
told me to
offhand
watch it,
Disney.
but I did not.
Yeah.
But wow. Yeah, that's
That was
so
cool.
because of that, I think it is cool that the only way to get to Tom Sawyer's Island really is by a raft or, some sort of hidden boat somewhere.
I don't want a bridge.
No, that wouldn't. It's not it.
Because when you're on Tom Sawyer's Island, you feel in not a bad way, but that you can't escape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's its own little thing over there.
Yeah, and it's bad when it's hot and you're trying to get off around 5 p.m. But But it's really cool that it makes it feel more like an actual island because the river is like what, a few feet deep. Like it's not, you could probably walk across it. But it's just this really cool feeling of everyone uses these rafts to get across. Yeah. That's how the cast members get across when their shifts are over and everything. It's just really cool. So the ships don't really count. The Columbia and the Mark Twain.
I agree.
If they didn't take forever to load and unload, it would be cool if they could drop you off.
Oh, that's the reason you think they don't count.
They don't. They don't take you. They take you to where you started. But
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. That's why I think that they don't count. They are an attraction.
Yeah, they are. And
they are not transportation.
And so, that is something we're going to talk about in just a moment. But yeah, they don't take you anywhere. Would it be cool if one of them did, or is it just too much of a mess to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it would be cool to have another stop on the other side, like a Galaxy's Edge drop off.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I mean,
that would be sick.
That would be pretty sick. They put the beavers there, like on the complete other side. So it's like beavers or the Galaxy's Edge. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a cool thing if they could. It just, people are very slow at everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, good that they do, but they're, accessible needs where it's like, you got to let everyone move and then you got to put the ramp or stop everyone, put the ramp. And it's just, some things are just not going to.
It takes time.
Now, I think if the rivers were significantly bigger, now it would kind of maybe be a waste, but if the river was way bigger, also shout out to River, then it would make sense where it's like, it's such a long journey anyway. It's like, hey, you can hop off here if you want.
Hey, do they still have the boats in Epcot now that Harmonious is there?
I was wondering that because I was looking at the station and I saw that it said like, we'll be back soon. And I was like, is this still happening with Harmonious or is this like not a thing anymore?
Oh, these are in the same water?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen anyone use them.
I've been on them, but it was before the Harmonious days. So it was just when there was water there.
Okay, I know they exist. I know people have told me to do it. But in the time I've been on Instagram, which is like years now, like Disney Instagram, I haven't seen people post being on the little ferry.
God, I don't know if I have a picture. I may have.
This is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I've thought like.
But that takes you from one side to the other side. But it's a big,
no, but this is
a big body of water.
This is between parks though, right?
No.
Wait.
No. This takes you from essentially, I think, what is it? The beginning of World
Just
Showcase?
Future World and
Future
then
World to
Showcase.
to World Showcase.
I thought this was
I think it takes you from halfway through World Showcase, like around
it's like where America's at.
Italy, Germany, America. Somewhere around there,
I thought this was a way to get into one of the parks.
There's also
there is
the boat into Disney.
Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Is that
which
running?
I did take that from Fort Wilderness.
So it is running. So it is a thing.
That
Wait,
one
are you
is
talking
running.
about the little boat from Fort Wilderness? Because there's the little one too.
Yeah, the little one.
And then there's the big one.
And then there's the big one, which I've never taken the big one from
Yeah.
the transportation center.
This is why people are like, just go to Walt Disney World. And I've never been. It's like, I feel like I got to spend 10 days there.
No, you need to go to Walt Disney World with someone who has been, because as someone who is barely learning it, like, oh my God, I would not have been able to. Yeah, you guys should just go together, because if you tried to go by yourself, like, you would be so confused.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different world out there.
It's a world.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that is transportation and an attraction, the Disneyland Railroad, which is arguably just the reason Disney built
a whole park,
because he loved railroads and now he's got his own. Yeah. So let's start out with the negative. As transportation, this is terrible. Because
it's so slow and inefficient.
It's so slow. It takes forever for people to get on because everyone wants to ride it.
Yeah.
There's never any seats. People are not scooting over.
Yeah.
The more efficient one is the seats that face the engine, but you don't want to go on that because you can't see anything.
Exactly.
The water's really loud when they refill.
So that's the thing. From Main Street, you go to New Orleans Square, which is where they refill the water because it's a real steam engine. And that takes forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's get on our journey. This is the shortest leg of the journey and the longest wait. So, because I've had people say like, oh, let's just get on the train and go to wherever. I'm like, let's just walk there.
Yeah.
Because
It's faster. It's faster.
But ironically, that's how I used to feel about the Disneyland Trams before they were gone for like 3 years.
So recently,
Because I would just be like, I would rather just spend half the time that I'm going to spend waiting to get on the tram, walking to just get to the end of downtown Disney, and then I can just enjoy all of downtown Disney and then get to where the trams load off by the time that they're loading off.
Yeah.
So these days, because you have to, well, no, they've got that bridge now, but
Beautiful bridge.
before that bridge, it used to take, okay, the fastest way to really get back and forth with Disneyland, especially back, was when you can get on the walking path by Wetzel's Pretzels and walk alongside the monorail.
Yeah.
And then you would just, you'd be there in no time. And I remember when...
because instead of having to walk an L, you could walk a diagonal.
Yeah. And my friend RJ and his fiance and daughter, like when his daughter was in a stroller, they'd be like, oh, we'll walk. Like, we don't want to fold up the stroller. She'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's a leisurely walk. And it was great. And, you get that vibe of like, you're fenced off from the tram. You're still like, there's like rocks and leaves and whatever. And the monorail above you, which is so cool. You're still kind of
cool.
Disney-ish. And then they closed that off because of the security thing. And then now there's the bridge, but you have to go all the way out of downtown Disney and then go forward and then cut across again and then go up the bridge. And if you want to cut diagonal, you got to go through the parking lot. And
if you park in Mickey and Friends as opposed to Pixar
you gotta
Pals,
and
and apparently now you can't walk through the parking lot because they like put signs up and they try to blockade it. And they're like, no, this is for cast members only. And it's like, screw you. I'm going to walk through the parking lot. This is insane. Like, you're making me try to walk like 20 minutes extra for no reason. But I could just walk through the parking lot.
You talking about the downtown Disney entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you got to go around to the hotel side.
They make you so imagine, like, let's say that my head is I don't know, like, I'm trying to think like how I can describe it. It's like, instead of just getting off of the bridge and then at some point heading over to security like this, they want you to walk like that.
I see. Yeah.
Because also they don't want you to cut across those bushes because the security thing that you see when you're walking from the bridge, that's not the entrance. That's the exit. That's only an entrance for cast members.
Yeah.
Where you have to enter is the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah. So Kimmy and I
walk that pathway, which the pathway takes you all the way around the farthest way possible on the left side over to where Rainforest Cafe is. And then you have to walk
up
backward.
Okay.
Backward, the length of that giant, stupid bush thing.
Yeah.
Spin around and then get over there, or just cut across the parking lot.
Do you know if my tents are still there?
Your tents?
Yeah.
Because
of all the construction over there?
No. So that downtown Disney entrance is there, but it's a cast member only entrance.
Right. But the other one.
What other one?
The other one where the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah. They still have security there and everything.
Okay.
So you have to go through there. And it's super annoying because they said like, oh, Mickey and Friends is open. And Kimmy and I parked there and like a cast member gave us free parking once because we wanted to go. There was some restaurant we were going to. Oh, Craftsman Bar and Grill.
Nice.
They don't validate.
For the weirdest reason.
They don't count as downtown Disney validation if you spend the $20. They doesn't count as Grand Californian validation. Doesn't count as Disneyland Hotel. So we went to Mickey and Friends, which was like $25 at the time. And the cast member is like, oh, you going to the parks? We're like, no, we're going to Craftsman. And he's like, oh, why don't you do this? I'm like, they don't validate. And he goes, that's silly. I can't take your money. Go ahead. And then we walked.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And then
that cast member is probably fired now. And
we didn't say his name. But I know his name. Real cool guy. But and it was later in the day. But like, so we're like, cool, the bridge is open. We can walk. And then like, I had to go to the bathroom. It's like, no, you got to walk all the way back and go around and then go to the Lego store. But yeah, so Yeah, speaking of long-winded transportation, the Disneyland Railroad. Don't use it for transportation, but
it's a good ride.
it is a wonderful ride.
Yeah.
And
It's a wonderful ride.
it's almost a shame that the filling station is at New Orleans Square because you want to do the Grand Circle tour. Just it feels right.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you want to get on New Orleans Square, because there isn't really anything in between Main Street and New Orleans, right?
No.
It's the longest wait at New Orleans Square because everyone wants to get on there because they think that'll get them out of the park.
Even though it goes all the way around.
And then
Not a bad thing, though.
Next is hilariously the Toontown Station, which is weird to me that it's not the Fantasyland Station. What do you think, Matthew?
I love that it's a Toontown Station.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that section doesn't feel like Fantasyland.
I guess, yeah.
It's where the theater's at, right?
Yeah, I kind of always felt that was the Small World section. It's it's Fantasyland. Okay. I think
That'd be like theming like the Galaxy's Edge entrance that's like the farthest to the right to Fantasyland. It's like, no, we're kind of done with Fantasyland at this point. Like, you can start Toontown here.
I predicted in the Toontown episode that they're not really going to change the architecture, but that they could possibly paint it in a way that makes it look more like these the Mickey shorts, because that's kind of the whole theme of the ride.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll just even slightly retheme I hope they retheme the entrance a little bit and the station, because I think the reason I don't like that it's a Toontown Station that much is it looks like outdated cartoons. Now, old cartoons are not necessarily outdated, but that really specific like 1992 era is the 1992 cartoon era. It's like
you can tell.
Yeah.
It's, hey, we started making cartoons with computers, but they look like the in-between. So, yeah.
100%.
And then the station I always forget about is the Tomorrowland Station, because it
is hidden. Oh my God, you got to go through that little.
But I think it's super cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got that cool sign that they finally got working again that flips. Now people don't look at me like I'm crazy whenever I tell them that the sign changes.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but now I'm going to go see.
Yeah, it changes over from, it'll like rotate. Like all the little panels will rotate and it'll show like Primeval World, and then there will be one that shows like old Main Street art, and it's really cool.
Oh wow, that is really cool.
I think there's 3 pieces of art in total that it rotates through.
Huh. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's like a wall, right?
It's a big giant sign like
yeah, no, okay. I do know what you're talking about. I was thinking of the sign, but yeah, okay. Yeah, that is
I gotta check this out.
I didn't know it was gone because I would never get on the train at Tomorrowland. Although it's probably a good place to get on because probably not busy. You get to see the Primeval World and you get back to Main Street.
I feel like I always get off at Tomorrowland.
And the thing is, there isn't really a point to get on it to exit Main Street, because you could get on the monorail if it's open.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the best ways to exit. So
100%. Oh, it does change to 3 different signs. I found a photo of someone pulled up. Let me see if I can. Here, I'll copy a link. I'll put it into the bottom of the Google Doc for you guys.
Nice. There it is.
You open it and show me.
All right. Keep going.
I assume it's like a triangular thing to make it change.
I also have like a iPad that's like 10 years old. So give me a second.
Did it just crash? Oh, I thought it crashed the app, but
No.
you were just.
This is just opening Safari, dude.
I've got the iPad Mini too. It's basically the Google Doc machine now. So
yeah,
that's
that's what this is.
Don't.
I'll redirect this.
Okay.
All right, I'm going, dude. I'm going.
Uh,
there it is. No, that's not it yet.
I don't know.
Here it is somewhere, dude. Oh, Tomorrowland.
That is like it's
Okay.
like early 2000s internet technology.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Right into the Old West and Frontierland. Okay.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that Primeval World one is that'd be a cool piece of art. I like that.
I know. I love that poster.
So, let's take a trip into the past with some defunct and semi-defunct transportation. So, RIP, because it's never, ever coming back. The Jolly Trolley in Toontown. It's gone in the art.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's a street
Yeah,
there
fully
now.
gone.
I never saw it, but okay. Did it move oddly?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
did?
It moved super wonky.
Like Winnie the Pooh a little bit? Kind of.
But even crazier. Yeah. I was watching through, I think I was like going through archival materials with like the OC archives. And I think that's when I saw like a commercial for Toontown. And yeah, in the commercial, they show like just, they didn't even try to make it look crazy. They're just like, here's the trolley. Like they're just filming it. It's like, like going crazy.
Yeah. So just, you know,
R.I.P.
pour one out for the Jolly Trolley.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Shout out to Cal Poly's Poly Trolley. The greatest
They
food
have a
truck.
poly trolley.
It's a food truck.
Oh,
It was
okay.
awesome. Though.
Yeah.
They sold sliders. Just really good. Now, long live the Buena Vista Street red car trolley. It is not defunct.
But it is closed.
It is closed. So it's weird because
And I thought it was supposed to reopen when Avengers Campus was done. I'm so confused.
I wonder, okay, so part of even the current mask thing is any enclosed transportation, you have to wear a mask. And I don't think, you know, Disney doesn't care because they have the monorail running, whatever, but it's probably just more, I don't know, possibly capacity stuff, whatever.
And it's
honestly staffing.
Is it technically open air?
No, because that whole thing, it's closed.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they put in, when they were digging up the tram route, I thought they were going to put in electric chargers because the trolley is charged wirelessly at the little stops. The cables up top are fake. But yeah, that stops. It's again, bad transportation.
What did they put in the trams? Or what did they put there?
It was a sensor.
Oh, that's it?
Like the way red lights have sensors.
Oh,
I assume it's just so they know when trams have taken off and stuff without having to radio. So, yeah, the red car trolley stops right by the bathrooms. And then it actually goes to where they have the wait times.
Of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah. And then I think it stops in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. I think
where the photo op was during COVID.
Like, yeah, Animation Academy.
Yeah.
And then it would stop at Tower of Terror. I don't know if there's still a stop, like it's a stop in Avengers Campus, but I do know they're not planning on removing it because they had the track go into Avengers Campus and there's a door that can open up to take the trams, the trolleys out of commission.
Interesting.
At the headquarters. So it's coming back. But I actually really love this thing because they talk about like history and stuff on there. Like it's such a...
Remember the little show they did on there? Like the Newsies thing?
Yeah, the Newsies
Yeah.
thing. But I think what I like about this one, there's something quaint about it of like the old school, hey, this is like, we're just talking about history and transportation in this theme park where, you know, there are still, I forgot what we brought up a little while ago, but stuff where like, you know, you think, I mean, Disney is, you know, corporate, money, bottom line, whatever. But the Imagineers still have like some spark in them where they'll bring up some weird callback, some weird reference in something brand new. And it's just like nice to know like, okay, they still do care underneath all of it. So I love the red car trolley. I will ride it all the way through when it comes back. But it is not defunct, but it's gone for now.
Yeah. But
we talked about Skyways earlier. And, you know, there's no way to get this thing to go through the Matterhorn anymore. But I honestly think a Skyway is a great form of transportation because it doesn't get in anyone's way. Now, it gets in like sightlines or whatever, but it's up in the air. Now, you got the ugly pylons and whatever, but this is...
I think it's a possibility it comes back.
Not through the Matterhorn.
Not through the Matterhorn, no.
But
no,
then
no.
where
would it take you? Where would it go? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now they could do
It would have to be maybe in DCA. Maybe.
Yeah.
But then DCA is just... It would be so weird there. I feel like it would...
I think that you can maybe get it to work from the back end of Pixar Pier into like the Grand Californian.
Ooh. That would be good. Just like...
I could see that working.
Yeah, then you could... what do you call it? Like skip that entrance. Now, we had this... We had a little scoop, but no one cares about our scoops. We saw a work order put out. Or what is it?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not a work order. It's
it was a bid request.
Bid request for another entrance into DCA from the hotel. It said new entrance.
Ooh. Because, yeah, remember when they used to have that entrance?
There was by Corndog Castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe they could just be bringing that back. But
Oh, that'd be sick.
because
I would love that. That'd be amazing.
they removed the entrance because they put DVC villas there. But
Oh, that's where the villas are?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why.
well,
Gotcha.
but it specifically said Grand Californian Hotel, right?
It did. It did
So
because part of it was the pool. They're putting new canopies on the pool.
Yeah, because it's not just like, oh, a way for Paradise Pier guests to get in or whatever. It's like a whole. I don't know where they would put this and why. Maybe just because of traffic, or it could be a hotel guest only.
That's possible too.
Because
Yeah.
the main entrance, like they're not going to close it off to non-hotel guests because people go in and spend money. They go to the gift shop, they go to Hearthstone, you got to go to the restaurants if you have reservations. So that could be a cool thing. But yeah, a Skyway could just be a good way to park hop, almost like you can get on where the monorail is. Like it could be a dual, I know it doesn't make sense, but like a dual station. Or even where Innoventions is, because that building's going to come down eventually. And
use it as the form of transportation between the parks.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, I think a little weird with Space Mountain. Maybe we could go outside of it, but like Innoventions to Hollywoodland, because there's that whole backlot area, the water tower.
That wouldn't really mess with Main Street. That wouldn't really mess with Tomorrowland.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Anaheim would probably raise a stink about it and then give up or something because it's see it. But, that could be a cool thing. But, yeah, Skyway is a great, in a new version, I guess the way it is now, even though, how many times does it crash? Like, too many, I feel like.
Yeah,
a couple of times. It is scary when you ride the Skyway. Like, there's no better way of describing it unless you go on it. Like, everyone that has been on it, like, knows the feeling. But the way that thing like comes into landing, you're like, wait, this is about to crash.
It's
like
wild.
Every
it's
time.
Wild.
Every time you're like, no, this is going to crash. Like that's how fast it comes in.
Wow. It's like self-propelled, right? It's got the gondola has the motors on it.
No, the gondola doesn't have the motors.
What does?
The wheels up top.
Well, yeah, but it's attached to the gondola, right? Because the cable doesn't move.
Oh yeah, no, what am I thinking? Yeah, you're right.
It's got like a little thing and it's just like right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the Ferris wheel in DCA.
Yeah.
When it kind of like rocks back and forth when you're just like coming down. That's how the Skyway kind of
that's the best way to put it. It literally feels like whenever you're swinging in on the swinging gondolas.
I can't wait, especially because it goes over water.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awesome. Now, definitely RIP, the People Mover.
100%.
The People Mover in its heyday, it just was not really a form of transportation because it just took you back to the People Mover station, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, how cool would it be? Because I was actually thinking about this yesterday. It's like, we can't just say like, oh, it's gone, how sad. If the People Mover, either little trains that they had or individual cars, could separate, right? Just like your monorail idea.
Dude, just like Mickey's Runaway Railway.
But like still on this track.
Yeah.
But imagine if there were splits in the track and you can select on your little car where to go. So
that would be amazing.
You could be coming up to a thing and there's like a split in the road. And it's like, if you don't do anything, you will continue this round trip.
Yeah.
But hey, would you like to break off to the Fantasyland Theater? Let's say, like just that area or something. And you hit a little button. And I'm sure there's maybe it could tell you unavailable if there's too many cars there in the station, or you can have a little carousel of them, but have them redirect. Almost like, you see the little skates in the Amazon warehouse that are like, like they could do it. How cool would it be if it was a people mover?
That would be like the
moved people.
Ultimate form of transportation in Disneyland.
Yeah, and that was the whole.
That'd be incredible.
That was the whole vision, right? Like you would just get on a thing and it just takes you somewhere, like in the vision of like the real world.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool. They could pull that off for Galaxy's Edge too.
Yeah,
like
they could,
because it kind of goes along the monorail track, right? They can have it not really mess with the lands it doesn't belong in. But imagine going all the way to Galaxy's Edge from Tomorrowland, because that's a walk. Drop you off by Kylo's ship or something.
I have done that walk way too many times.
Yeah, you just theme these things red like they kind of used to be, and it won't look weird in Galaxy's Edge. have them all shiny and chrome. And yeah, it would just be a cool way to get around. That's not walking. Because what do they want? People out of the walkways. What do they want? Like, how many thousands was it per hour that like it was a person eater, the way Pirates is.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, just stuff all the people on this.
Small World, the number one?
I don't know. But yeah, it's those boat rides because it's like, sure, they'll bump into each other way at the end, but let's just load more boats and we can increase the capacity of Pirates. That's why it never really gets to an hour. You know, if it does, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, the People Mover's gone. It's never coming back. The track is like, the track is wrecked from rocket rods. It goes through the building.
I think there's a way that they could do it, but they would just have to redo all of Tomorrowland.
We have an episode.
Which they just will never
just knock it down.
We have episode 50, I think. We called it New.
Was it 50?
Yeah.
That's a good number.
New Tomorrowland, where it's just like leave the Space Mountain building, just the circular thing. Tear down everything else. And we did like 2 versions, like what it should be and kind of like, hey, if you had to use the buildings or the same kind of concepts, what would it be? But that whole thing just looks like a weird
Modge podge of ideas.
It's like half business park, half like we know no one's using this.
Half Pixar.
Yeah, half Pixar. And of course, there is still a block of concrete from the House of the Future that they just left there.
Where's that?
By Buzz Lightyear.
Near Pixie Hollow.
Yeah.
Or it's in Pixie Hollow.
It's painted green. They're just like, oh, this is just a pain to remove. My favorite fact about demolishing the House of the Future is they took a wrecking ball and they swung it at the House of the Future and it bounced off because it was made of plastic. They realized, oh, we need to cut this down.
Yeah.
And
that's hilarious.
So now I don't know what I meant. Okay. What are just out of everything we talked about, let's have some final thoughts, some good, some bad, and maybe some other ideas. And we kind of worked the monorail into this, the People Mover. I think we can all agree the Disneyland Railroad, great attraction.
Yeah.
Terrible form of transportation.
Right.
Autopia, it's an attraction.
Definitely not
that goes against everything.
Everything.
Now, we talked a little bit about like boats, right? There's still a remnant of it. What were those things called? The little speedboats?
The gummy bear boat things.
What got turned into Adventures Through Gummy Glen or whatever.
Yeah.
So in Hawaii, I think on the Big Island, there's a Hilton called the Hilton Waikoloa Village. You can get around this entire resort by boat.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
How cool would it be if you could get around Disneyland by boat? There's a lot of water in Disneyland.
There is.
There's a good amount of water.
I think it would be super cool. Like even if they were slow moving boats, like Pirates, you go with the current.
Boats are cool, man. Just in general, being on water is awesome.
Yeah. Like what would be some good ways to get around the resort? We have a small resort. We could have an improved monorail, a People Mover.
Dude, I absolutely loved that People Mover idea. Because then it can take you anywhere. And it's like, where else would you ever get that kind of experience?
What about,
if they're doing this whole, the Tesla thing with the self-driving cars, the Underground Railroad, or not the Underground Railroad, the underground tunnels that they're doing.
Oh, the Boring Company?
Yeah, the Boring Company stuff.
Boring Company,
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is, that would be cool. Just have like build the tunnels under Disneyland. To get around. That would be interesting. They could build a whole underground pathway. They could do the Lafitte's thing. I know it's not easy to dig where there's already stuff.
And where there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Constantly.
But I think it would, that's how you increase capacity without making the land bigger itself.
You go down. They're probably going to go down eventually. Or up. I don't know if they can go up much.
The problem with going up at Disneyland is the Matterhorn. That's why we have such a tiny castle. The castle can't be taller than the mountain. Not that they would ever really change the castle because, sacred, blah, blah, blah. But the reason it can't ever change is Matterhorn can only be so tall. You can't make the Matterhorn much taller without putting a blinking red light on top.
That's why they made Tower of Terror.
It's like 1 foot shorter.
1 foot shorter, yeah.
So there's all that kind of stuff. Now, I wish they were able to build that other parking structure, because that would free up Toy Story, which is the size of DCA, cough, cough, new park. And then there would be a walkway, but then we could get better ways to get around than a bus. Now, like, you know, no offense to buses and people who need to take a bus. It's just like, hey, I'm at a theme park. I just need to go on the regular streets after I've already kind of started the theme park experience, especially when they do security at Toy Story.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, it's funny how the goals now are the same as like Walt Disney's goals of no more cars. And yet here we are on another car.
Taking a bus in. Taking
up roads, which now there's the whole talk of like cities are designed around cars, not people, you know, around roads. So yeah, it would be cool to see them do something. I can't have these pie in the sky dreams anymore. It kind of sucks, but like, I feel like that's what's happened with the parks. It's like, what can you dream of now that will actually come true? A ride based off of an IP, right? Is there ever going to be any, I guess the hope is that like, the thing that gives me hope, we did get the Skyway in Walt Disney World, which
is not IP based.
Is an old thing made new.
They slapped IP on every single Skyliner for a while.
That's true. Yeah.
And now they're starting to rip off a lot of them because people prefer the ones without the wrap. You get better views.
It's kind of like what I tell people. I'm more into Disney parks than Disney movies. Like,
same.
I watch the movies, but the parks are just so fascinating. Even like the little symbols that are around everywhere, like the weird Easter eggs, like the whole jade elephant thing. You know, it's just like, yeah, this is the thing it's moved around the park. You know, it just, so yeah.
Is that the only non-IP based thing that's opened up in the past like 10 years in Disney parks?
Skyway?
Yeah. What?
I mean, if you count stuff in Shanghai Disneyland.
Yeah.
There's a lot of non-IP based stuff in Shanghai Disneyland.
So
and that was what? Well, I guess Skyliner is the newest thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's still hope.
There's
still hope, but the problem with Disneyland is they've only got so much space, and if they usually have to take something away, and they're not going to take something away with an IP and replace it with something that's not an IP. It's never worth it to them. But
I feel like that corporate building is next.
Oh, the green building?
They already dug into like a big portion of that for Galaxy's Edge
and Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe they'll secretly buy up land again. There is still that parking structure that never was. There's still a dirt lot there.
Yeah.
There's also Garden Walk, which I don't think anyone would miss.
My theory is that it went bankrupt a few years ago. I think Disney's just waiting for it to really, really be on a fire sale.
No, they already own it.
It's owned by STC, isn't it?
I heard someone from
it's still called the STC Garden Walk.
Source told me that they own it, which I was like, really? Because I didn't believe that. I was like, if they owned it, they would have done something by now, right?
Yeah.
Because I know someone who used to work for STC. It's still called the STC Garden Walk. They're just like a developer or whatever, and it's still like falling apart. There's been the same.
It's still Christmas.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's still Christmas.
It's Christmas 2020.
Yeah.
Because I took a picture March 2021, and someone's like, "Oh, they still have Christmas stuff." I'm like, "Hey, man." I think it was JD. I'm not making fun of him. I'm making fun of this thing. I'm like, I sent him the picture. I'm like, the painter's tape in the window behind it is in the same spot for the store that never reopened or whatever.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's part of their Disney Forward nonsense.
It's possible.
Which, you know, hey, please bother Anaheim on our behalf. But maybe there's still hope. If the Skyliner exists, there's hope. But I think has everything about transportation been said?
One big last shout out to the Trams.
Yeah, they are back.
Shouts out Trams.
All right. So before we get into We Have It So Good, has anyone watched anything Disney related, Disney adjacent, or not something really interesting in the past week? I've watched nothing. So do I play the sound?
I saw Love Is Blind for like 9 hours straight last night.
Doesn't count.
No. Other than that, no.
Anything from you, Matthew?
I've been watching Euphoria. Euphoria has been good.
I will not play the sound, but I will play this sound. It's time for We Have It So Good. So We Have It So Good is where our members of the Tram fam, just like you, can write in with what they miss or appreciate about Disneyland. So we only have one write-in, but it's a good one.
Thick writing.
Thick write-in from Ozzy. We Have It So Good for you guys, but I forgot to say congrats on you guys hitting 100. That's amazing. I listen to you guys when I'm at work. Hopefully one day soon, I'll meet you guys in person at Disney. Just say what's up. So before I continue reading, just a reminder to everyone, we will be at DCA on our second anniversary, Trammiversary.
St. Trammin's Day.
On St. Trammin's Day, March 17th. It is a...
St. Trammin's Day.
We started on St. Patrick's Day 2020, which did not exist. So it is now St. Trammin's Day.
Yep. Wait, you made it for DCA?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I made it for Disneyland.
We're not going to be there all day.
Yeah, okay.
So we will be at DCA.
Gotta love
the reservation system.
We will be at DCA because, you know, we can have a drink with whoever wants to. You don't have to have a drink. We're just all hanging out. And
water.
Yeah. DCA needs more than one water station.
It has one water station?
In Avengers Campus.
Wow.
So you got to go listen to that music. We will be there. You can come and hang out. You don't have to just be like, hi, bye. We'll just, if it becomes a group, it becomes a group.
It was fun last time.
Yeah. So
we went on Jumping Jellyfish.
Yeah.
We went on, that's it, right?
Yeah. But we'll have our stickers to hand out, probably a limited number of pins, whatever we run out of.
Yeah.
Yes, Thursdays are not always ideal. However, 1, it's the anniversary date. 2, it's less busy than the weekend. And 3, no one's blocked out. So if you whichever pass you have, you can show up. We'll be there. We'll try to stay late, I assume. If the hours are late.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, you can come by and you can do/spend as much time as you are comfortable with.
Dude, I couldn't believe last time. Just like the most random people we would never have ever, I mean, people we just never associated with or never talked to on the show just randomly texted us or messaged us on Instagram. Hey, where are you guys?
Because we get people who write in a lot. We get people who don't even have an Instagram, and then we'll run into them and they'll be like we've never seen their name, and they'll just be like, oh, hey, Trammin. Like, oh, yeah, hi.
What's up?
I love that. That's sick.
So, yeah, anyone who wants to show up, make your reservation now because
you never know.
Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah, we will be there. We have the reservations Thursday, March 17th, St. Tram's Day. But let's get back to Ozzy's writing. Being able to go to Disney after work on Friday and just taking time to try some of the new foods and drink they have this month. But I went to Disney this past Friday and I tried the Dole Whip swirl with the cherry and watermelon, and it was amazing. I want them to make this a regular thing at Tropical Hideaway. But also, I finally rode web slingers. It was a cool ride. Definitely get a workout on your biceps by flinging your arms back and forth. Definitely wouldn't wait over 15 minutes for that ride, but it was a cool experience. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. It is fun. It is too short. It needs
should have one more screen.
One more screen.
One more screen. That's it.
It's like it's a great Astro Blasters wait time ride. Should have been something else. Blah blah blah. But yeah, not worth really waiting for it. But it is fun to, like, if I could walk onto that ride, I'd probably go on it every time. Just like, fun experience. Yeah. I don't know how much more they could have really put there, unless, well, they should have just torn down A Bug's Land, actually, not, left the bathrooms and theater in the same place. But it is what it is. It's a cool ride. But my favorite comment about it is people don't want to be Spider-Man because of shooting webs. They want to be Spider-Man because of swinging around on webs, and you're just in a moving car. But glad you had fun, Ozzy. Glad you went on it. And yeah, I wasn't able to try that Dole Whip.
Oh, you didn't?
No, the line was really long, so Kimmy and I got bows.
Yeah.
And then I remembered I've had a watermelon soft serve because, like, Tutti Frutti has it.
Do they really?
Yeah, not Dole.
Right.
But it's like they have it.
Yeah.
So it's not like going to be this mind-blowing, you can never get this anywhere else.
Go to Hawaii, I'm sure you can find it.
I've been really, like, trying to think of things like, it's not the end of the world if you don't try this thing, because it will probably exist again. And if not, again, it's not the end. If it was the end all be all of something, it wouldn't be limited time.
Yeah.
Except for the volcano menu and lava sauce at Taco Bell. It is all that, and it's never around. All right.
Oh.
So let's start with Rain because I know Matthew's got a lot to say. So we'll give him as much time as he needs. Have you been
Thank
to Disneyland
you.
recently?
No.
No.
No. I will be there, like I said, for the return of the trams on Wednesday.
Dude, you know the trams are going to be filled with vloggers and influencers being like the first ride on the tram. And what I think is funny, is we will be the first video that day about the trams without having gone on it.
Yep.
6 a.m. Pacific.
That's true.
But
Yes.
but again, that doesn't matter because no one watches YouTube. It's like 100 people. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. So, Matthew, how recently were you in Florida?
Let's see. I left Florida February 7th.
That's pretty
So 2
recent.
weeks ago.
That's pretty recent. That,
It's pretty recent.
even
It's
if it
still
didn't
fresh on
count,
my
it
mind.
would count. So
Still fresh on my mind,
Look.
fresh on my tongue.
So we'll get to the food. So hold your tongue on the food.
I will.
But tell us everything that was awesome about Florida.
Oh man, let's see. Florida was really fun. I got to do, like I said, all the Disney resorts and or a lot of the Disney resorts, which I never really got to explore around. Did my first Hollywood Studios full day, and that was fun. I'm trying to think of more firsts. A lot of firsts when it came to food. Did 50s Prime Time at Hollywood Studios.
Oh,
That
nice.
was really fun.
Yeah.
Did the Indiana Jones Spectacular for the first time, and I think that was the worst. I think that's the worst Disney attraction that currently exists. I think
They
that
took out a
it
big
is
portion of it, I think, when they brought it back, right?
it's an abomination.
Oh,
It is actually the worst thing ever. Like, I am trying to be so nice right now. It is horrible. What else? Aside from that, had a great time at Epcot. Got to see Harmonious for my first time.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
Huh.
So it is amazing. It's just an abomination when they leave it there during the day.
I don't even care about that,
No?
because how often are you like looking back, like backwards when you're at World Showcase? When you're at World Showcase, you're always looking at, you're either looking down at what country is next, or you're looking at the country. You're never like, let me look at the body of water behind me.
Okay.
So like, to me, like, I don't really care. I think it's dumb, and I think they should have figured out a way to,
So
shuttle it in and out.
They
Because,
did have a
The
way.
last show was able to do that.
they did have a way, and it was cut due to budgets.
Oh yeah, like they
it was-
easily could have done it.
No, they were going to be on like motorized barges, and they were just going to move them, and they were going to build a dock for it, and they didn't want to do any of it. So
The
they
old show had all of that. The old show shuttled stuff in and out. So I think that's lame, but it's not
Okay.
it doesn't kill the show. But no, I think the show is amazing because, to me, like, it's like the perfect cap to the end of your day,
Yeah.
especially at World Showcase.
nice. Okay.
Did you do the Ratatouille raid? Remy's?
Yes, I finally got to do Ratatouille. It was my
Nice.
first time doing Ratatouille, and it's so funny. Ratatouille and Runaway Railway are like very similar rides,
Mhm.
except Ratatouille for years I've been like, this ride looks like it looks so lame. Like, what? Like, why did they build this? This looks so dumb.
Mhm.
And then when Runaway Railway came out, I was like, wow, this looks incredible. This looks absolutely amazing. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for this. And when I heard it was coming to Disneyland, I was like, this is incredible. And then I rode both, and my opinions completely flipped for both. I hated Runaway Railway. I'm so mad it's coming to Disneyland. I hate that ride. I think I'm the only person that like hates that ride. Everyone else I talk to is like, I loved it.
I've never been
me-
on it, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
I like it.
To me, the thing about that, the reason why, in my opinion, that ride doesn't work is for two reasons. One, the whole gimmick is projections, but it's like the whole time you feel like you're in a blank, big, giant, empty garage room.
It's just a
It doesn't
rectangular
feel
room, right?
For the
It
most
doesn't
part,
feel
yeah.
immersive at all. You can see the ceiling tiles. You can see where the projections end without even trying to look up. Like, you just see it. And then and the 2.5D thing didn't come through. It just felt like just a giant projection in front of me. And then the other thing is that, to me, the story didn't engage me in any way, because I feel like the new Mickey Mouse cartoons they're so ugly. Like they are so ugly. But the thing is, they have great stories. Like each one has a great story, and each one is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Runaway Railway has a horrible story and isn't funny at all.
Yeah, what I've been telling people is like I've watched some of those shorts. They're hilarious, but they are fun shorts. Like that's the point. Like it's 4 minutes
Should not have been
great. Yeah,
the whole ride.
Why is Goofy so ugly?
Yeah, they make him like.
Thank you. No, it literally makes a girlfriend so upset. My girlfriend is like, "Why does he look like a crackhead?" I'm so sorry.
And he's like in all the, especially like the Christmas stuff. But anytime Max is involved, he's like the most endearing character.
Yeah,
he wants to.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's like the best dad. You know, trying his hardest, whatever. And then they do, just they make him look smelly, like the one where he wanted to, the one in the diner where they try to teach him how to talk to women.
Mm.
They zoom it. They do the SpongeBob zoom in, where they make him even uglier when it zooms in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the experience for Runaway Railway is just like, oh, I'm on like a little train ride. This is cute. And then it's just Mickey and Minnie screaming at you for no reason. Because every scene, they're like, I'll save you. And it's like, why?
Why wasn't it just
I'm in
a railway?
no danger. Like literally every single scene, it's just them screaming and screaming and screaming. And every single time you're like, why? I'm just in the desert.
And
why? I'm just in the ocean.
It's
like,
more or less the same speed as Rise of the Resistance, right? They're the same little vehicles that just kind of skirt around. Like,
yeah, but the difference is Rise has an actual story.
So what I'm saying is Runaway Railway, and you're on trackless vehicles moving around like Luigi's family is singing to you. Like, you know, it's
except Luigi's family like actually like zips you around and stuff.
But it's just there's like a disconnect for me. Where I'm like, they should have just.
Me too.
I know it would have been another mine train ride, but an indoor mine train ride with those projections that follow you probably would have been cool.
For the name.
I agree.
Yeah, for the name.
Yeah. But oh well. But Ratatouille?
Whereas Ratatouille was incredible. I loved it so much. I love the Ratatouille movie, and it was so fun because even though it's not a copy of the Ratatouille movie, it's the perfect Ratatouille movie ride. It gives you everything that you would want out of the movie into the ride. Once you're on it, it actually really does feel super immersive. You really do feel like you were shrunk down to the size of a rat, which is really fun. All the effects are super cute and fun and effective. And it actually is like, it's really fun because it mixes like really slow, like romantic, just sweet moments. And then genuinely has like thrilling moments. Like when the hand reaches out at you, like multiple people like screamed out loud in our cars. Cause like, it really does get you. Cause it's just so huge. It's so big, you know? And, the music is fantastic because, you know, it's the Ratatouille score. And the thing though about that ride that not enough people talk about, it has the hands down, I thought nothing could ever top the Soarin' over California Orange Scent. But it has been topped by the Ratatouille ride.
Wow.
So in the Ratatouille ride, there's the sequence where if you've seen the POVs where you drop into the kitchen and all the rats are cooking, and it's like near the end of the ride. So right when you come into that scene, they blast fresh French baguette scent into the room.
Ooh.
And it does not smell fake at all. It smells literally like someone took a French baguette and put it right out of the oven and right up to your nose.
Maybe that's why the Boudin Bakery tour is closed. They moved it to backstage.
And literally all of us were like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
That's
like
cool.
taking the deepest whiff like through the mask. Like we like peeked it out a little bit. We're like, oh my gosh. It's
I'm excited to go on. I'm real excited.
Wow.
Yeah, Epcot has been like on like a good streak of new rides, I feel like Frozen, as someone who hates the Frozen movie, I think that the Frozen ride is adorable. And I think that they did the absolute best job that they could have with retheming that ride. And Ratatouille is just a perfect fit into the French pavilion.
I'm hoping that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be good. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that one I've been like really excited about, and like now the more and more I hear about it, the more I'm like, is this gonna work?
Yeah.
Like it feels too ambitious.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that one turns out.
Epcot, okay, I know it's done very well and it is amazing, but like this isn't about the quality, but it's starting to sound like DCA.
No.
No. This is the park where I know there's the World Showcase, but then you have the Guardians thing where it's just like, we're putting the stuff is well done. That's the difference. It's not cheap, but it's just
I see where you're coming from.
We're putting things here because where else are they going to go?
Yeah.
But if you went to Epcot, you would realize, oh, DCA tried to copy Epcot.
Well, yeah.
It gets a little bit of Epcot, a lot of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And then little tiny bit of Animal Kingdom. Little tiny bit.
Yeah. But I've always been the most intrigued by Epcot. And I know Animal Kingdom's awesome.
Yeah.
I know Magic Kingdom is just worse Disneyland.
Just big.
Horrible.
Yeah.
The most miserable theme park experience.
Yeah. And then like,
I'm good with skipping it every time I go now.
Yeah. But I'd probably,
same.
I'd probably just visit Magic Kingdom because I've never been there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure, and do the People Mover because I've never been on a People Mover.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like, oh, I can't wait to go to Magic Kingdom. It's like, oh, I want to see it. You know? But yeah, someday.
Yeah, Epcot is cool because once you do a day at Epcot, you'll leave being so grateful that it exists because there's just nothing else like it.
I agree.
Yeah, the world.
There's nothing else like it.
I know there's like all the other pavilions and stuff, but the World Showcase idea just seems awesome.
It is.
And
the World Showcase idea is like one of the coolest ideas anyone has ever come up with.
Yeah.
And then there's Future World. And Future World is there, and Future World is what it is. It's half of it is like, here's some updated stuff that doesn't really quite work. And then here's the stuff of the old stuff that somehow stayed around longer than the good stuff. But it's still cool. It's still really, really cool.
Speaking of, everyone should watch was it called Remain Seated, Please?
It is.
I don't know if it was your first documentary, but it's
my first like publicly big posted documentary.
So
yeah, for sure.
Remain Seated, Please. What's the subtitle?
A Hoot and Chief Story.
I think about that often.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially, so the last episode was Living in the Land, which was just wordplay. It's if you could live in Disneyland, where would it be? And of course, it released on the Story Living Day, which is hilarious.
Which is just randomly,
but
too.
That whole time thinking of like living inside rides, I'm like, Remain Seated, Please. Like people,
Chief did it.
If you guys haven't seen that, and you like the parks, I don't even want to say anything about it. It's just mind blowing.
I wish I could have gone on Horizons.
Yeah,
I wish.
So go check that out. So any last highlights, Matthew?
For the Walt Disney World trip, well, I feel like any more highlights that I have will be food related. So I'll save that for the food discussion.
So right, what time is it?
It's
pizza time.
One last bite. So, as always, but we're gonna start with Matthew this week. What is the best food, sweet, and drink you had this week?
Okay, so I asked for permission.
Or recently, yes.
And I would love to talk about best food, best treat, and best drink that I had on my recent Walt Disney World trip.
Rain often gives honorable mentions, shout outs, and other things. So you can eat. It doesn't have to be one of each.
There are no rules.
Yeah, more like guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go through the quick stuff first. Honorable mention has got to go out to Regal Eagle in Epcot, which, if you know how in Islands of Adventure there's Mythos and it has the sign that's like best theme park restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I want the next time I go to Epcot there to be Regal Eagle and there'd be a banner saying best quick service restaurant, Matthew Serrano.
Regal Eagle, where is this?
Regal Eagle is in the America. It's the newest restaurant that there's Space 220 is the newest restaurant in Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second newest restaurant is Regal Eagle Smokehouse in the America Pavilion.
Interesting. Okay.
So Regal Eagle, I didn't realize this, but when we first walked past it earlier in the day, I saw that there was a giant smoker, like huge smoker out front. And I just assumed that it was there for decoration. No, that shit gets used because all of the food at Regal Eagle is all smoked throughout the entire day, freshly there at Epcot, and then all brought back into the kitchen and then chopped up and delivered to you. And it's so cheap, like such cheap quick service that you're thinking, oh, this is going to be mediocre barbecue. No, it's fucking amazing. And it's quick service. It's incredible. And you get to pick your sides too. So what I would recommend is if you and a bunch of friends are at Epcot and you're going to Regal Eagle, which great option for food. Bubble order is a total breeze. And then everyone should just pick a different side so that everyone can try like one of each little side.
Sneaky.
But dude, barbecue is banging in Walt Disney World. And we'll get back to this in a sec because I discovered one of my top 10 favorite restaurants of all time on this recent trip to Walt Disney World. And it was not Regal Eagle, but that is my honorable mention.
All right. Keep on going.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
No. There was one episode. I don't remember what we were going to replace something. We were talking about food and it was just like,
since they took away the barbecue and
we wanted to put
Big
barbecue into Disneyland, like just
somewhere.
There was some restaurant where we were like, this is terrible. Just make it barbecue.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Me and my friend came up with an idea. And we actually just like, my friend apparently pitched it to an Imagineer. So I was like, thanks, you gave an Imagineer idea, but whatever. So I guess it's out there now. So I'll just say what it is. But we had one day we were walking around Disneyland, we were bored. And we walked past like, there's a huge like mountain that like it's like the remnants of like Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. And it's to the left of Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To the right of Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America. That whole section is huge and you could put a giant restaurant in that space. And so we came up with an idea. We were like, what if you created a Space 220 level immersive restaurant in that space? And so the idea that we have is that you would walk into a mining facility and you step into these mining elevators and the mining elevators would take you down into a giant rainbow cavern. And so the restaurant is the Rainbow Cavern, like barbecue, smokehouse, review, cave, whatever you want to call it. But you're literally eating barbecue inside of the Rainbow Cavern. And it's kind of like, the T-Rex Cafe in Disney Springs.
Yeah.
You know how there's the giant like Ice Age section that is like this huge domed cave thing? It would be like that. And the lighting, it would be similar to that. And the lighting would change. The choir would come in and
right.
I would have like authentic big on the smoker pit barbecue style food.
Yeah, that's my go-to when people, everything's hyperbolic. But when people are like, America has no culture or food, I'm like, well, it's barbecue.
America has a lot of culture. I think that's so funny whenever people say that. I'm like, America has a lot of culture. What?
And they're like, well, it's a bunch of cultures. Like, yeah, that's the thing. They've all come together and made these beautiful foods. Like, So, barbecue is, I would call it the Rainbow Caverns Cookout. Just saying. But
this podcast is about American culture. Disneyland is Americana.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why there's a Disneyland in Europe and in Tokyo because it's Americana.
Yeah. It's that people confuse the lack of, or the short history with a lack of culture. It's like,
exactly.
There's a lot here. And now, is it as, beautiful, like, the Sistine Chapel and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
No, but we got our own stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, more food. Love this.
Okay. So that was an honorable mention. And then real quick, I want to talk about sweets. I'm going to quantify this as a sweet because even though I didn't have many good sweet things on this Walt Disney World trip, which is weird. I feel like the last Walt Disney World trip that I had, I didn't have good food and I had good sweets. And then this was the other way around. I had amazing food and then bad sweets. But I went to the Edison for the first time. And the Edison almost was the best food that I had. The Edison at Disney Springs, which is an amazing themed restaurant. But they had an appetizer there that me and my girlfriend almost didn't get. And then the waiter recommended it and said it's their most popular item. And so we're like, okay, we'll get it. And literally what this was they, you need to write this down. You need to write this down. Like, I'm telling you, like, you need to get this. You need to go, first of all, go to the Edison because it's amazing. But secondly, get the bacon on the appetizer menu because what they do is they come and they bring it to you on a clothes wire with pins, with like clothing pins clipped onto each strip of bacon. They give you 4 strips of bacon. At the bottom, they give you like pickles, I think, and then like a jam that you can dip into, like a mango jam or something like that.
Ooh.
But the bacon is, oh my God, it's like they took the bacon and they put every kind of seasoning on it. It's savory, it's sweet. It's like they smoked it and then caramelized it.
Interesting.
It like, think about like every great piece of bacon you ever had. Crispy bacon, soft bacon, fatty bacon, juicy bacon, caramelized bacon, smoky bacon, salt and pepper bacon, brown sugar bacon. Take all of those candied bacon, take all those bacon flavors, put it into one strip. That's the bacon at the Edison. It was mind-blowing.
Wow. All right.
Like, I am not one to like, oh, bacon, you got to get it.
Yeah.
Like, no, but genuinely, like, me and my girlfriend were like, this is the best bacon we've ever had. This is mind-blowing. And it's an experience, like them bringing it out to you on the clothespins. And I would count it as sweet. It's savory, but it leaned a little bit more on the sweet side. Plus, you got that jam. So I got to go with that for my sweet.
I'm done.
And I'm also going to give one more honorable mention: the Edison burger, one of the best burger patties I've ever had. It was like a multi-meat blend, and it had brisket in it.
Ooh.
And I've never had brisket blended into a beef patty.
Blended into it. Wow.
But brisket is so juicy and flavorful. And this this patty was so juicy and flavorful. It was like, oh my God, the brisket made the difference. Holy cow. I don't think I can ever have a burger again without brisket blended in. This is amazing. So would recommend. I know we were trashing on Magic Kingdom.
Oh.
But for my drink, got to give a quick shout out to my friend Jalen at Tomorrow's Trial on Instagram. He took me around Magic Kingdom for a little bit, and then he had to leave. And right when he left, I called him, and I was like, "Wait, what was that drink that you said that I should get?" Because I was telling him, I was like, I kind of want something sweet. And he told me, he was like, "Well, whenever I come to Magic Kingdom, the one thing that I get the mint julep slushie from Casey's Corner."
Whoa.
Oh, that's a thing. Oh, wow. That sounds great.
So he said, he was like, someone told me that they went to Disneyland and they were like, Disneyland's mint julep, like no one can top that. And like the mint julep slushie is an abomination and blah, 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 blah. But he is like, but I think it's good. So he's like, I'm curious to see what you would think. Cause I was like, yeah, cause I love the mint julep. Basically, imagine, like, take your mint julep from Disneyland, pour like an entire can of sugar into it, and then run it through a slushie machine.
All right.
It was incredible. I destroyed the entire thing.
Do you remember where it was?
The hottest. Casey's Corner.
Oh,
Main
Casey's
Street.
Corner. Okay.
You can mobile order it.
Nice.
Well,
And God, it was incredible. It was so good. I guess one other honorable mention that I'll give is my girlfriend told me also in Magic Kingdom at Sleepy Hollow Tavern, I think is what it's called. It's like a little quick service thing. They have like a Nutella waffle sandwich that she said was one of the best things she's ever had at a theme park. And on this trip, she couldn't get it. It was like off the menu for some reason, but now it's back on. We just checked.
So it
We're
goes.
We're actually, fun fact, we're going back to What's a Zero in like a month. But that's a whole other long story that I could tell at the end of the segment if we have the time, if you guys want me to. But that would be another honorable mention. I just feel like I got to mention all these honorable mentions because I see you writing this stuff.
Oh,
down.
yeah. I'm taking.
So I got to do the
straight up
service
notes
to
here.
you and the people.
There are no rules here.
Yeah.
We make the rules and we don't really write them down. So
These are the most notes I've ever taken on a show.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then real quick. Actually, no, this is not going to be quick. This is going to take a second because I got to get into talking about what is now in my top 10 favorite restaurants of all time. So the resort hopping day that I was telling you guys about at the beginning of the podcast, when I first knew that like, okay, all my friends and my girlfriend are going to be all working on this night of our trip, I'm going to have to do something. And I was like reaching out to people in Orlando. I was like, if anyone's in Orlando, let's go, get drinks at Trader Sam's, let's go resort hop. And like, no one was available. So I was like, I guess I'll just get like reservations for one at some restaurant at one of the hotels and just try. some restaurant, like whatever, like I don't care. And so I just checked and like nothing was available. The only thing that was available was they had a reservation for Whispering Canyon at the Great Wilderness Lodge.
Whispering Canyon, is that the one where you
with
get
the
like
skillets?
the skillets? Yes, I've been there. Huh. Okay.
Is it not the most amazing thing ever?
It was awesome. It was. I went for breakfast though.
So funny story. So a friend was able to meet up with me, and he told me that he had only been there once, and it was for breakfast. So he's excited to try it for dinner. So we had it for dinner. We thought it was amazing. And then 2 days later, I was like, you know what? I've got another morning where I'm waiting for my friends. Let's go back and let's go for breakfast. And so we did try it for breakfast.
Yeah, it's cool. I really I loved it. The waiters were awesome. It was really cool.
So to very quickly explain what it is that someone who doesn't know. So Whispering Canyon is, imagine first of all, the Great Wilderness Lodge is literally the Grand Californian, just with way more yeehaw. And imagine like on the left side of the lobby, if there was just like, it looks like like an open air conference room.
Yeah, it does.
It's like not themed at all. It's just a bunch of tables. And you walk up and you're not expecting an experience, but you're about to get one, because you walk up and all of the waiters there, the gimmick of the restaurant is that the waiters just mess with you.
Yeah.
So if you ask for more water, so they give water like in little mason jars. If you go, hey, can I get a refill on more water? They will come back a minute later with the largest mason jar full of water you've ever seen and set it on the table.
Listen.
And just say nothing.
I would down that thing and they'd have to bring me another one. They never.
Oh, that's the gimmick of the restaurant, baby. We'll get into that in a sec. If you ask for straws, they will walk past the table and they'll drop like 20 straws. My friend leaned over and he told me, he's like, don't ask for ketchup. I was like, don't ask for ketchup. I was like, I'm not gonna get ketchup, but why not ask for ketchup? And he told me, he was like, one time I saw someone ask for more ketchup, and every single waiter and waitress at the restaurant came in a conga line and dropped off a bottle of Heinz ketchup at the table until there were like 22 bottles.
So this is like Jungle Cruise, the restaurant.
Yeah, but actually funny.
Yeah.
Sorry to turn Chris ever. Yeah, it's just like super fun, because the thing is, you have no idea what to expect, and they're so sassy with you, but like not in like an awkward way, like in an actually funny way. It's like very like Southern. It's like the opposite of Southern hospitality.
Yeah,
it's like Southern hostility.
I'm trying to find a picture.
But the best part,
like a bless your heart.
But like the best part about the restaurant is the skillets.
Yeah.
So if you go for dinner, a skillet will run you $36. If you go for breakfast,
I did go for dinner actually. I thought I went for breakfast.
If you go for breakfast,
yeah,
the skillet is only $24. And they have a skillet. They have 3 skillets for breakfast, 2 that are breakfasty, and then 1 that is actually similar to the dinner ones. And so the dinner one is like your typical barbecue. It's, you got your mashed potatoes, you got your green beans, you got your corn, you've got brisket,
some ribs, chicken,
some
roasted carrots are in there.
Belly, roasted carrots, depending on when you go, what skillet you get, and pulled pork, and all of it is absolutely fucking delicious.
Yeah,
so good, like actually so good. And the best part about the restaurant is that you can do one of 3 things. So you order a skillet, because if you don't order a skillet, like you're doing that restaurant completely wrong. You order a skillet, and then you have 3 options. You can either 1, eat the skillet, and then that's it. You can either 2, eat part of the skillet and then go, hey, can I take the rest of the skillet home? Or there's a 3rd option, which I like to call the no turning back option. And that is, you can eat however much you want of the skillet and then go, hey, I want more of this, and this, and this. And they have to bring it out to you. They have to bring out whatever you ask of seconds, and they bring you more than what they brought the first time.
Yeah.
And from that point on, you can just keep, if you were like, I love the pulled pork, just bring me another, like 3 skillets of pulled pork. They'll go, did you finish the 2nd skillet of pulled pork? And you'll go, yes. And then they'll go, okay, another skillet of pulled pork coming up. Like, they will do that for you.
Wow.
I remember the cornbread being pretty good too.
I'm afraid of
the
this.
cornbread was also delicious.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of this. But it sounds great.
It was awesome.
Here's what I recommend. If you ever were like, I need to do Magic Kingdom. Like, I just got to do it. What I would recommend doing is I would recommend start your day off at Whispering Canyon, go for breakfast, get the meat lovers skillet, and you'll basically get like the full like experience. Like, you'll still get cornbread and you'll still be able to get most of the meats, which are so fire. And then just take the ferry over to Magic Kingdom. It drops you off right at the front.
Yeah.
Right at the front. And there's like no line because at that point, everyone's already in the park. But yeah, getting a reservation at Whispering Canyon is like not hard at all. I was able to go right back like 2 days later. We just like walked up and we're like, hey, we want to come for breakfast. And they're like, no one's here. Come on in.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. So good.
Sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. I love the hotel too. I brought you back the little.
Yeah, it's on my dinner table.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, sorry for that long food rant.
No, that's fine. That's
You're
fine.
good.
I hope that I provided good recommendations.
No, yeah, that was all awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rain, it's actually your turn now.
Is it my turn? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Speaking of wow, I went to this place called Be Well.
Okay.
Be Well. It's in Fullerton, and the best Korean barbecue I've ever had. Because we were discussing Korean barbecue on date nights just a couple
How is
episodes
one
ago.
Korean barbecue that much better than the other?
You gotta, the quality of the meat, one,
Okay.
the taste of the meat,
Okay.
and then the quality of the sides.
The sides.
The sides, the kimchi.
Yeah,
you know.
because I've had some bad sides.
Yeah. But it was the best Korean barbecue I've ever had. Just a little sad I didn't get that little free scoop of ice cream at the end. But other than that, what else do I have?
Is it called B1?
Is it one or is it B Wow? Is it
B1. BWON in Fullerton?
that's what it was.
Oh.
Okay, yes, that place.
B1.
Yeah. There's like 3,000 reviews or something on
You're
it.
welcome, listeners. Oh, yeah. Wow. 3,344 listeners or reviews.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy
B1.
cow.
B1. And let's see
No.
what else did I have? The sweet. I think I've already said this, but I'm gonna give a shout out to my banana bread again.
Your own banana.
My
bread.
own banana bread because I made it again, and it was just as good the second time.
Yeah, my
I
dad.
love that.
My dad likes banana bread with raisins, but
Raisins.
the correct way is with chocolate chips,
Thank
like
you.
you make it.
Thank you.
Which
Thank you.
okay, I am never, ever, ever the person to do this. Rain, why haven't you brought me banana bread?
Sorry. I did bring you one.
He brought me this monkey bread.
Wait, I didn't bring you the banana bread.
No, you brought monkey bread.
I thought I brought you banana.
Greatest monkey bread I've had in my entire life.
Thank you.
So there is that.
Thank you.
And your best drink.
The best drink I am going to give it to a classic. Simply Orange. I think my taste buds are currently changing, dude. Because growing up, my mom always drank orange juice, and I'm always like, I prefer apple. I prefer anything else other than orange juice. But I've been buying it a lot for home, even though it's like drinking soda essentially, you know. But it is so good, so ridiculously good. So I'm gonna give it to Simply Orange.
Pulp or no pulp?
For some reason on Instacart, they don't let you buy pulp.
So my thing is look, Simply Orange is good, but it's still packaged orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
Packaged orange juice, no pulp. Fresh squeezed for real orange juice, give me that pulp.
Yeah,
That's good.
I
Give
got.
me the pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I have the KitchenAid little attachment that allows you to be like
Dude,
a juicer.
Have
whatever.
you made your own orange juice?
No, I haven't.
It's life changing.
I need to.
It's
do
life.
that.
You got to get some good oranges though.
Yeah, some nice navels.
Yeah.
Oh, going down. All right.
All right. So I did not eat wonderfully this week, like with good, like awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But with food, actually, this was great. But this is the honorable mention, and we'll understand why in a moment. Honorable mention to the tacos at Kevin and America's wedding shower.
Oh, like a taco man was there?
No, I think America's mom made the food.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure,
Cool.
but I think she did.
Mm-hmm.
But really good. Just tastes like, okay, you know, sometimes you want like the beef flavor, right? But sometimes you want that seasoning that you just never taste.
Yeah.
It was the seasoning. And
Ah.
it was great. But it was, well, it's tomorrow technically, but before the episode airs, whatever, you know. Happy birthday to Haley, my niece, RJ's daughter. It was her birthday, so we went over. There was a little party in the yard, and she turned 9. So we got there, and there was some food. And RJ said, yeah, so we asked Haley what she wanted, and she said pasta and pasta. So there was like a beefaroni type of deal with bow ties and some Alfredo, Dude, I never eat pasta. I ate like 2 platefuls of pasta.
Wow.
And there's just something about pasta that's just top tier. And then the cupcakes. So it was like a mermaid themed party. Ariel was there.
Ariel was there?
Ariel was
the
there.
Ariel?
The Ariel.
Wow.
And there was, I guess these cupcake cakes are a thing.
What's a cup?
They make a shape out of cupcakes, but they frost it all at once. Delicious because they use buttercream. Nice, moist cake.
Nice.
And I did not have any type of good drink this week. So I need to give a shout out.
Oh, what a shame.
I need to give a shout out to the humble Dr. Pepper. Ice cold. That's all. It was just
is Dr. Pepper really just root beer and Coke mixed together?
No.
I've heard this.
It tastes nothing like root beer.
I want to pitch a slogan to Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. At least it's not Pepsi.
I love Pepsi. Slander. I love Dr. Pepper because it's real crisp.
Yeah.
It's got some ridiculous, is it 23 flavors or something?
23 flavors.
It's just spices and stuff. It's great. It's good stuff.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
I will say, if they did sell Crystal Pepsi still, that might be my go-to.
They had it a couple years ago. Did you pick them up when they had them?
I did. It was good.
It is good. It feels lighter.
Different.
It's not as heavy.
Yeah, something different about it. Yeah.
I will say like Pepsi is sweeter than Coke. And so you can't. Okay, I love Pepsi in a can, in a bottle, whatever, but like let's say like In-N-Out or whatever. I can't drink like a big fountain Pepsi. Because Pepsi has smaller bubbles, which I prefer, but Coke is just like, it's more air. It's like, Coke and a burger, you know? But yeah, real basic-ish week for me, but hey, you know what? Sometimes it's good to reset.
It is.
Look forward. Like I might have some good stuff this weekend. So next time, but yeah, I haven't been in the parks or anything. So
cool.
Real basic food. So because our episodes aren't long enough, we got 2 topic-related questions. One's a quick one. Well, whatever. What would you like to eat on Disneyland transportation if you were allowed to? You kind of can on the railroad. I don't know what that's like now. But I have, whether you're not allowed or you are, what's the good stuff? I'll start off with one. I was on the railroad once and I got a big old Fanta from Refreshment Corner. Orange Fanta. I was just in the mood. And jalapeno cheddar pretzel.
How was that? Sounds great.
It was great because you just do the Grand Circle tour. Our friend.
Sounds like a good blend too.
Yeah, because real sweet, a little spicy, salty. And that time I went with a couple friends, and one of them was Kayla, our friend Kayla. She had never been on the Disneyland Railroad. She's like, "Oh, I've never been on this," and I'm just like keeping my mouth shut. She didn't know about the primeval world. She literally like almost stood up, like rubbernecking, like, "Oh my God, like what is this?" Funny. In awe. And it was like watching a kid see something for the first time. Yeah. But I like those. I would say bows, but I like to sit down and enjoy my bow in Tropical Hideaway. So let's.
I'm bringing it back.
You're bringing it back
because I don't think they have these anymore. And no, I'm not saying the sandwich. I know what you're thinking, but the dusted chicharrones from Galaxy's Edge.
Oh right. So
dusted chicharrones.
So once upon a time, I am the trier.
You are definitely the trier.
The life is too short to order the same thing twice. So if you see something new, you try it. I was at Galaxy's Edge at Ronto Roasters, and they had chicharrones with churro dust, and it was
amazing.
I tell people like, yeah, these are pig skins with cinnamon and sugar. Trust me. And there's just something about it.
There was something. It was that sweetness, the saltiness.
That sounds lit.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Crazy good.
So sad they're not back.
We often say like Galaxy's Edge is the place you go when you actually like food because they're trying weird things. Like the new thing right now is the Dubac chili noodles with
delicious.
It's like chili oil and ginger pork.
Ooh, hold on, I'm gonna post on that while you guys are talking.
All right. Yeah. So that's like. So you want to eat that? No, what? You can't eat that on it. You're gonna eat noodles on the train?
No. I want the chicharrones on the train.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's it.
You know, I would take the chocolate and crate salt popcorn too.
That too.
Regular popcorn though, no. I don't want that on the train. Too salty. You might get dehydrated on the train. You got it?
All right. I feel like it was one of you guys might have replied to me like on something when I said the Mugen tea at Oga's Cantina. It's gotta be like one of the most underrated things at the Disneyland Resort.
Yeah.
I just had it.
So
I
went during.
It's so damn good.
Yeah, I went during Life Day, and I had their little stuff there. So Kimmy just dislikes 99% of all alcoholic drinks. Let's say more than 99%. She's like,
me can relate.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, what did Matthew say? I'm like, I think it's I don't know if we asked about something, but I think we recognized it. And we ordered.
Yeah, I know that I talked to you guys.
Yeah,
about it.
no, you had said, I think you tweeted, this is the best drink at Oga's, and it's not even like alcoholic. And so Kimmy ordered it, and I think she tagged you and tagged us and the whole tagging thing. But I would like to sip that slowly, low pressure.
That would be nice. Yeah,
that would be good.
Because it is somehow refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gotta say, and this conversation is actually giving me an idea for the next time that I go to Disneyland. Next time I go to Disneyland, I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm gonna put it out there. I gotta do that so that it's planted in my brain. I remember to do it. I'm gonna get a breakfast chimichanga and ride the train.
Ooh, that might be a little messy, but
no, the breakfast chimichanga. No, it's not messy.
When I got it, it was really crispy. It was like
flakes everywhere.
Yeah. There's this word in Armenian, it's like to crumble, but also go everywhere. It's pushravel. It's like to become dust. Like it's like I can't put the word in the English, but yeah.
I love when
words don't travel.
Non-English languages have words for things that we just cannot describe.
My favorite is it's in Armenian. It's totvel, and it's to like shake dust off of a rug, and I think is it sacudir?
Sacudir, yeah.
But there's no word in English.
I like asco.
What's that?
Tengo asco. Like that's like I have like this like taste and feeling in my mouth that I don't want to eat anymore, or I don't want to drink anymore. I just like
I'm done.
Yeah, like I'm done. But I
Tengo asco.
Yeah, like asco.
Like I'm like you're
asco.
Like satisfied with your meal? Like,
no. Like it's
like the opposite.
sickly.
I'm tired of it.
Oh, you're
almost sick to your stomach, so you don't want to do that.
Huh.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. But yeah,
is that specifically like what is that? Is that like specifically like a Mexican term?
It might be. I don't know, but I know my grandma would say it all the time. So.
Okay, so breakfast chimney.
Breakfast chimney. Although I am really sad, they did kind of mess with the breakfast chimney recipe a little bit. The adding in the breakfast sausage. I do like breakfast sausage, but it kind of threw off the breakfast chimney for me. So I really hope that they go back to the old recipe because I am a little sad about that.
I don't like.
It doesn't hit the same way.
I like breakfast sausage when I order breakfast sausage. I don't like when it sneaks into other things.
I agree.
Because it's got the anise,
yeah,
the fennel flavor. It's like you kind of taking over here.
So, I agree.
Yeah. So any other transportation foods, or should we move on to the next question?
I'm good.
Ooh, I would eat the chicken nuggets on transportation if I could.
Which chicken nuggets?
So there were the golden horseshoe chicken nuggets, and then they disappeared and they became chicken tenders. Somehow they have reappeared at Red Rose Tavern. Just random.
That's interesting.
But the shredded beef poutine is gone. Which
is that what replaced it?
Yeah. I was gonna put that in our on our recommendations page, but I checked the menu and it's gone. I don't want to recommend something to someone and they're all excited and then
they get there and it's not. Yeah.
So we got to keep up with that page. So not really related to Disney, but what are the best and worst foods to eat in the car? So I'm gonna go with real quick McDonald's French fries just out of the bag. Best, your easiest. I've done this before, but it's really tough. Taco Bell burritos. They're very small, but when they've got rice in them, it gets away from you. Just kind of flies around. And like the McChicken would be perfect, but that shredded lettuce.
It's messy.
Yeah. And In-N-Out only if you park the car and they give you the little paper.
No, dude, I can do In-N-Out like one-handed while I'm driving animal fries.
God, I'm afraid of you. Like I'm intimidated.
So
you have that superpower and I do not.
I eat
respect to you.
If I'm eating with my hands, I usually another shout out to River, but I eat usually with one hand because I want to keep one hand clean. Just because.
Yeah, same.
Interesting.
We were at Ballast Point and my brother looks at me, he's like, geez, what's that energy over there? You're palming that burger. Just like, you just get around it and you just, eat the burger. Like, none of that. I don't need this. Yeah. Nothing against you if you use two hands. Just, I like,
you like the clean hand. Yeah. No,
just, you gotta pick up your phone. It's an emergency. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So what do you eat and not eat in the car, Matthew?
I would say the easiest thing to eat is burritos, because like it's just the one thing. Like you're never like going for like, it's, with a burger, like you're going for fries and stuff like that. And even though it's like my most eaten thing in cars, canes is absolutely terrible to eat.
No.
Every time I eat canes, I always get a stain. Every time. It doesn't matter how careful I am. And even if I think I've got the system down of like, okay, I'm going to put the box like in the center console, and then I'm going to, kind of lean over the box, always get a stain.
And I feel like, okay, I think the crumbs in the Armenian word, I think the crumbs is the pushravank. It's like the things that push the veld. It's like, so the canes breading is really, it's flaky. I feel like that
it
gets
really falls off.
You know what I hate? When you drip sauce on yourself, you're like, you know what? That was my bad. Like I didn't account for the viscosity, whatever. I hate when a piece of something falls off and the oil
gives you the stain. Yeah.
That's the worst.
Because it's not coming off.
Yeah.
You don't notice it because it's not heavy. And then you see it and then there's a little circle and you're like, I basically have to, this is a pajama shirt now,
Yep. That's the worst.
Yeah. You can't eat canes in the car, but yeah, a true burrito. Because Taco Bell, I love Taco Bell, but it is what it is.
But it has rice, so it's not real burritos.
There's that.
Taco Bell, Chipotle, like those aren't real.
Yeah. And they're also, Taco Bell's not pretending to be real either. It's just like, this is.
It knows what it is.
It knows what it is.
Yeah.
But a true burrito, even if you stick rice in it though, even if you do, they are very cohesive. They're like a mass. They don't fly around because they're filling them up, first of all. There's no air in there for things to move around. But yeah, they're a nice cohesive thing. And you got all the manteca on the tortilla,
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So yeah, I think that's what we'll go with best and worst foods to eat in the car.
And I think it's safe to say these also apply to trams as well.
Yeah.
True.
They don't let you eat anything on the tram, right?
They don't?
I think tram is no food or drink.
That's right. That's in
the train,
in the intro.
I think the train, they're kind of like, do whatever. Monorail, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd want to eat on the monorail.
Nah.
It's not.
It gets bumpy sometimes.
I think you need open air to eat while something's moving. Like
unless you're in the car.
Unless you're in the car. That's the car.
Mm-hmm.
You got the AC or something. Yeah. So I think that is all we have for this episode. Any final, you don't need to have final thoughts, but any lingering thoughts, anything anyone wants to get out? No?
Well, I guess just in wrapping, I'll just say really quickly, lumping all the way back to the beginning, we were talking about Defunctland at Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time that we talked? I can't remember the last time I was on the podcast.
Ooh,
I feel it was a long time ago, but I'm not sure if I was working on this project when I was talking to you.
So
guys
you
last.
said you had one or two projects that you could not talk about at all. And before we logged in, I was like, what are these projects? Because I've looked for your name and things, but again, I don't know if sometimes it's ghost stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah. So I think one of those projects still hasn't come out. I don't know when that's going to ever come out. But it was a documentary that I edited for Kevin on the side, not related to Defunctland.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new project that I unfortunately cannot talk about, but I will give one hint. I have been working on script things that have been mentioning Hoot and Chief in them. And that is all I will say. And then the last thing that I'm very excited to talk about, because since this last podcast, we have like tweeted and talked about it. The newest episode of Defunctland that has been long in the making, like over a year now in the making. I helped direct live action elements of it.
Ooh.
And I'm super excited because, without giving too much away, part of that was recreating the creating of Epcot.
Huh.
Nice.
Wow.
And so we got to do some really cool recreation things that I could not believe I was given budget to film and make. And
awesome.
It's just it's going to be the craziest episode. Like him him getting a laser machine now. Like every month, every month it's like, hey Kevin, when's the episode coming out? Like, when do you want to color that? And he's like, oh, I'll be right back. I'm working with a full piece orchestra. Oh, okay. Hey Kevin, when's the episode coming out? Oh, sorry. Actually, we're gonna do like a laser show segment to the episode, so it's gonna take a couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've noticed it's like longer between uploads, but the quality is just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I think
It's like full feature-length documentary.
He got the taste with
the Helix.
Live from the Space Stage, and it's just like, ooh, this is what we can do, and people are going to come watch it. So,
yeah, I had a feeling once Live from the Space Stage came out, I was like, I wonder if after we put this out, like if there's ever going to be a turning back from this point, and there really hasn't. It's really ramped up now.
I think Fast Passes are like
pretty crazy.
9 million views or something. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like
yeah,
YouTube and like very short form video and short videos like that, 100% legitimate. But when you go past that, there's another level. There is going to be another level of production and everything. But that's awesome. So yeah, everyone go follow him. So I know Twitter is Matthew G. Serrano, right?
Yes.
So go follow him for hot but yet reasonable takes.
I feel like I've tamed my takes down.
Yeah, like you're.
I gotta say, there have been a lot of things that have come on the past year that I've just like kept my mouth zipped about. Like an example is the whole Guardians Epcot thing. I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything at all. I'm just gonna sit back and let everyone fight over this thing.
What did he say earlier? Where was your take?
Kevin tweeted, and then I was like, okay, yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
You said something earlier where you're like, you know what? It's actually not bad. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? That sounds reasonable. I forgot what it was, but someone.
Ratatouille.
That one?
No, Frozen.
No, there was something else.
Frozen?
Something that's out there. I don't know.
I'm dying to know what are some of the things that you guys have why you have brought me up on the podcast.
I gotta.
I actually brought up your thing about the reservations. You know, your idea when you sent me like audio messages, because I was like, you know what, this is very interesting. Yeah. And I think I said something like, yeah, we had a chat, and it was like, I had to kind of summarize it, but I was like, when you read a tweet, it's only so long, and you're like, I wanted to ask you, because I'm like, either I completely disagree and this is like, I'm surprised at your take, or there's more to it. And I got your take. I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This has some unknowns in it that could actually be a solution or whatever. It's like, it's mostly stuff like that, or it's just like if we're talking about something and then we saw you talk about it, and maybe that's what reminded us, stuff like that. Especially if we say something, we always say where it came from. Yeah. Like, not like, hey, this tweet on this day, here, we linked it, but it's like,
we're not trying to break.
It's like, oh, someone wrote in and said this, or like, we'll have a really good point, and then at the end of it, it's like, oh, someone actually said or sent this into us or whatever. So sometimes it's like, oh yeah, friend of the show, Matthew. It's like name dropping, even though like,
I love that.
We're like, it's such a weird little community of like,
yeah, for me, when it comes to Twitter, I've like really rethought it now, where exactly what you're saying. Like it's like so hard. Like you'll see someone say something, and then you're like, that's bullshit. I disagree with that. You're so dumb. You don't know anything you're talking about. However, if you actually like sat down and like let someone explain their opinion, you go, oh, actually, yeah, I see where you're coming from. And I realized I was like, so many people get so mad at me because they either don't see where I'm coming from, or they're just completely making stuff up in their head at all, just all together. Like, I'm trying to think of an example.
Wasn't there like that TikTok guy that was like, he was like after you for some dumb reason? I forgot.
The Sean thing. Oh, that's a completely other thing. But I don't know. Sean Girolamo just being a bully.
I'm totally off of social media now. I only have the Trammin Instagram. That's the only thing I go on. I have my Disney one, but it has like Rain, Trammin, and Kimmy on it, just because Kimmy sends me stuff on there. And Twitter, I don't use anymore. But it's basically like, I mean, at least with that one thing, because it's the only tweet really I remember from you. If I didn't know you, I'd be like, what's this guy talking about? But I know you, which is why I wanted to ask further. I'm like, not that, no, there's no way he could say this. Like, there's more to this, where
Oh yeah, I had people that work in the industry being like, "Shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about." And then months later, I was like, "Okay, but I was right."
Yeah, and it's just stuff
So
like
you didn't listen to me, and you were like, instead you just called me entitled, and it's like, but if you actually like thought about what I said, you would realize that what I said was right, and it ended up being right. And the funniest thing about it too was I was like, I'm not complaining about myself. If anything, I'm trying to defend you guys because I'm going to have no problem getting into Disneyland. I have so many connections and all this stuff. I'm tweeting about this for all of you guys. Like, this fucking sucks. Like, this sucks that there's a reservation system when people are paying more money than ever before. That's not okay.
Yeah. And
so, but to use an example, to go back to the thing I was talking about, like with Twitter, like I've resolved to just using Twitter now as just I like it, I didn't like it, or I'm meh on things. And instead of like trying to post complicated ideas because people are just dumb and just do not understand what you put into, 13 words, like you just need more time to explain things to people. And so one of the last things that like kind of reminded me of like why I do that is I literally just tweeted, no opinions, no furthering, no favoring anything. I just tweeted that Dinosaur made more money than Encanto in the box office. That's it. That's all I said. And people in the replies were saying, screw you, I like Dinosaur, or how could you not like Encanto? And it's like, guys, all that I said was one movie made more than the other. That's it. I like both movies. That's all that I said.
I'm very like soft on Encanto, to be honest, but I still don't understand how any of that makes sense. Like,
no, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I tweeted it. But people got mad because they immediately thought that I was making fun of one or the other movie. Like, I just am pointing that out.
Everything's black and white and you need to pick a side. So obviously you were saying Dinosaur sucks and Encanto's the best movie ever.
Or if you're someone else, you obviously think that I think that Encanto's horrible and I'm some racist. And
it never ends.
Insane.
Never
and
ends.
it's like the irony is like I had Encanto stands that were yelling at me, and I'm like, did you even see it in theaters? Because I did. I saw it twice.
Yeah, I went to go see it.
And guess what? The second time I watched it, I was like, hey, this movie's great. Hello? Like, no one else had seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no one saw it for like 2 months.
I saw it like a few days after it came out, and it was like one of those like, oh, it's the new Disney movie. Date night, let's go watch a movie. I'm like, okay, that was good. That was it for me.
And usually for me, I'm there day one, every single movie.
But no one was there.
Yeah. I waited to Disney Plus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I think that's the issue now, where you got to measure things need to be measured a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Even with stuff like games where there's Game Pass, it's like no one buys things anymore.
Yeah.
Like
another thing too. Oh, sorry. You can finish.
I was just gonna say like King's tickets. Now you can get a subscription.
It's a subscription of that. Jeez.
But anyways.
Another thing too, and this is the last thing I'll say, is I'm especially trying to reel back on Twitter, because Twitter, the only really thing that you can really do on Twitter that is fun in any way is just like trash on things. But the problem is, like, now that I'm working more in social media and in the industry, I want to work with companies and brands and people that work with those companies and brands and people. And I don't necessarily want them to look me up and then see me bashing on a project that they worked on or something that they own or whatever. Like, I considered, so I applied for a Disney program called Disney Launchpad, where they were looking for scripts that were Disney friendly, that were talking about like underrepresented stories and things like that. And they were like especially wanting like personal stories to you. And so I had written, before this program was a thing, a script based on a true story about the time when I took my first standardized test in the 3rd grade. And on the first page, it said, pick a race, ethnicity. And it said, pick one. And I freaked out because I was like, which one do I pick? Do I pick Caucasian or Latino? And will I get it wrong if I pick one and not the other?
I remember that was the same exact situation for me.
And I never had the box. It was like, to the government, I'm Caucasian. To myself and everyone else, I'm other.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm in a way, I'm Middle Eastern, but I'm Armenian. And I'm not mad.
It's
just
a
like,
weird thing.
What do I put other? Like, what does other mean? Now other is other. It's not even a thing.
Yeah.
The
It's
only
bizarre.
thing, shout out to the census. It let you put what you are and they counted it.
Oh,
That's what's
So,
up.
yeah.
Shouts out census. But yeah, that being said, I wrote that script, I submitted it to the program, and I legitimately thought, I was like, should I like private my Twitter account? Because like I feel like they're gonna just read my Twitter account and be like, oh well, he disrespects the name and yada yada yada. And honestly, recently I have been thinking about that. I'm like, I really wonder if that was the reason why I didn't get picked, because I didn't get picked for that program and I shelved that script. And then recently, like a month ago, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start submitting it to programs. First contest I sent it to, it gets 100% perfect score. And this is
Wow.
from one of the top short screenplay like contests in the world.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. No, but as you can see, now I'm like, did I like totally blow an opportunity with Disney because of me complaining about stuff on Twitter? Which is dumb, because there are plenty of people that have publicly lambasted Disney and then gone on to have TV shows with them.
Yeah.
But who
like,
knows?
for us, it's just like we're never going to get into that field. So it's just kind of like we're able to say whatever we want.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And
I've worked with Disney and I don't ever want to work with Disney again. I'm good.
But you don't represent Disney when you work for them. You make something for them.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and-
However, if you want to work with them, you gotta kind of
Yeah,
like
you do.
kiss their feet a little
and
bit.
yeah, and it's like we almost say things so we can't do things. Like
Mhm.
I'll say like we'll never have ads in the audio show, let's say, because YouTube will do whatever they want, whether or not they ask you. And so I'll say it on camera, just like our thing is, if Disney does something bad, we're gonna crap on them all day. If they do something good that we like, we will say that it's a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But we're lucky enough to do that. That this isn't our bread and butter. Or
Thankfully.
not our bread and butter. This isn't.
Whereas I had to be careful, because the reason why I'm going back to Walt Disney World is because my girlfriend got invited on an influencer trip and can bring a +1. So I'm like, all right, maybe I should start to reel
Yeah.
back a little bit
Yeah.
so I can get invited to these things as well.
Yeah, and there's just
I mean, everyone got invited out to this Galactic Star Cruiser thing. And, I have a TikTok with like a decent following. And I know a lot of fellow creators that also have decent followings, and not a lot of them got invited. There's a lot of people that I like never seen before. And I'm like, I wonder if it's because they were literally looking for all the influencers that didn't say anything bad about the Galactic Star Cruiser.
yeah. There's just different tiers.
Because there's not a lot.
There's different tiers of influencers now.
Mhm.
Many of them are a lot of them, like they're just shilling because they want the stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like, so it's just, even that term needs to be broken up almost, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like there's like like people who are like actually trying to be journalists, and then people that are just chills.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but that's the state of the world. I don't know what's going on anymore, but we're here. You're here.
We're
This is-
tramming.
We're tramming.
Mhm.
It's back.
Trammin.
But yeah, let's all just try to enjoy life
Mhm.
a little bit. So with that, Matthew, why don't you sign off first, and we'll do our little sign off.
Well, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Matthew G. Serrano on Twitter, and then at Matthew_Serrano on Instagram and on TikTok. And then you can find me on YouTube just under Matthew Serrano. And thank you guys so much for having me on again. This is super fun.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for coming back.
I'm honored to be on 101, and I'm honored to be on the episode right before you guys get on the trams. It's so poetic.
Yeah, and you definitely had a lot of insight on this stuff. Like I knew that was like, this is perfect, because I know he's gonna have stuff to say. And people always say like, come back anytime you want, and it happened. So, Rain, sign off for us.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you real soon.
Bye.
Bye.